Show. We're playing Phoenix Dawn Command. Hopefully some of you have made it back from Erica's extra live stream, but you know what? If you're going to do anything that isn't watching this show, doing it for charity definitely works for me. Don't worry about that. I'm Sax Carr. I'm your marshal in today's game, and this game, if you've never watched before, is a game in which all of our characters used to be mortals, then they died, and some energy brought them back, and they've been using that power to fight for good. They are called Phoenixes, and it's the fun game because you use cards instead of dice, and you level up by dying. Yay, Phoenix Dawn Command.
Yeah.
One of the people in chat is presumably at this point telling you about where you can find the VODs for this show, where you can learn more about it. We say more about it then. It's kind of like, what if the Crow was a team? What if the Crow was a team and the Crow itself was fire? And which sounds like the worst, shoegazing music lyric. What if the Crow was a team and that team was fire? All right, so I will let everyone introduce themselves and their characters. We will get to you in a second, but tell us who you are. So let's start over there in the,
Me here.
Yes, you.
Hey, I'm Mac Beauvais. I'm one of the people your parents warned you about. I will be playing my character as I always do. I don't know why I said it that way. I'm playing Varya, who is from the Bitter School. They're kind of the smashy class. And she's basically a giant werewolf at this point and continues to get more and more horrifying looking.
Werewolf? They're wolf.
Fuck you.
Ew. No one liked that. All right, so Chan.
You just meant me. I'm sorry. I'm Robert Chan. I am the person you warn your parents about. I'm a writer, podcaster, etc. Oh yeah, wait a minute. We're talking about our
You can say who Eerie is, yeah.
Eerie, he kind of looks like a little J-horror kid. Very fast, very scary, very creepy. He's got a hook on a chain. Probably because I watched Hellraiser too much as a child. So
no such thing.
I don't see a problem with that.
Depends on which Hellraiser. There's definitely too much of some.
Bloodlines.
Hellraiser
in space. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm done.
Okay. Hi, I'm Michael Holmes. I'm the bad guy that you don't realize until the very last scene. And I love the Crow soundtrack.
Me too.
Isn't that great?
It's such a great soundtrack. It's like the perfect product of its time, and yet it really holds up. Anyway, I'm playing Ink, who is the member of the Shrouded school in our wing, who are kind of sneaky, learny emo kids. And his magical weapon is a stylus that he writes upon the air with. and I've been on cold medicine all day, so I'm sorry.
It's gonna get fun.
He's not that sorry.
All right,
I'm
so
not sorry.
Tell us about you, Josh, and then we'll get to low. We'll get to low Atmos later.
Yeah.
We'll get to no Atmos later.
No Atmos.
Yeah, the thing where your tongue gets away from you and there's just no fixing it until you stop talking. Anyway, go ahead.
You have to do a hard
Yeah,
reboot.
you're not going to bring it under control in the middle of this sentence.
No,
You just have to let it go. Sorry.
I'm Josh, a friend of the show. I am going to be playing the Elemental Atmos. And I have been placed with the team in the wake of some tragedy, or so I hear. I've only heard bits and pieces about this wing. I know they're mostly just hard to look at to begin with. In this case, actually difficult to keep an eye on.
Literally, yes.
But
Josh, tell us a little bit about yourself, just so people know what you do, Josh, and who you are.
So my day job, I'm an architect and an aspiring writer, but mostly a player of games and enjoyer of people. Sax and I are friends of a larger house and group of friends.
Geeks.
Yeah.
I still have
nerds.
I have that geek job, geek life, self-hate thing where I'm like, ooh, an architect, a real job.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it just kind of feels like.
Oh my God, you're a nurse? What's that like?
It's okay. I'll never
let you
take
out.
care of my student loans. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm one of you.
All right, so in the previous editions of the game, this wing was a fated wing that was reborn after many generations. The spark, if you will, that animates these phoenixes it sort of serializes from phoenix to phoenix. So each person dies, comes back as a phoenix. They can die up to 7 times. Then their soul is sort of left to go on to whatever's next, and that spark energy reignites someone else. It sort of picks. Again, it's the crow. It's Fire Crow. It picks someone else worthy for whatever its job is. But that sort of continues on its own line. So these phoenixes, this wing, were all made up of, were sort of like the reborn versions of a fated wing from a long time ago. And so everyone was sort of really interested in what they were going to do. And then it turned out what they were going to do is become essentially monsters. They essentially became, what is that monster fighting game?
Darkstalkers.
Yeah, they became the lineup of Darkstalkers over several iterations.
I'd say we're more the
Like
creature
homunculi.
commandos, but that's me.
It's
Yeah.
a new
That
Capcom
works.
sequel. What's it going to be? Are we going to have more Street Fighters? And
Does she have cat ears and,
Yeah.
and cat paws? What is that?
Final fight? I
licking
don't even
herself?
know what that is.
They became Killer Instinct.
Okay.
Ultra combo. All right, so they
Ay.
is your mic okay there? Braid is worried that your mic is a little bit off.
Mine?
Do I just need to go higher?
No, it's good.
or-
I think it's fine, but I think
I
Braid's
put it-
going to make a run for it.
Oh no, I put it on my lapel.
concerns.
Oh, that's
Braid.
cute.
Yeah, I have a lapel.
Get it?
So I
What's
put
happening?
it
You want to give
on
it
there.
a
I
shot? Yes.
figured it's a lab mic. So
So
it's
No.
over time, this wing ended up
The
gaining
nails don't
some-
help at all because it's like
a grip on the chant, which is this sort of terrible, infectious song that turns you into a rage zombie, or it doesn't work on you, but bricks and stones do, and
It
so
displeases
the chanters kill you. This particular wing encountered the chant several times, managed to sort of learn a little bit about where the chant comes from. Now they really think they have an idea where it's coming from. And so despite the fact that they have been like the unruly teenagers of Phoenix Wings, where they have routinely gone crazy and hurt each other or whatever.
Phoenix Academy.
Yeah.
I'll be somewhere else.
Yeah, you're the Hellions. They have been sort of tasked on taking the chant down, while the rest of the Dawn Command, which is all the other Phoenixes, all 100 of them or so, takes on the rest of the Bones and the other sort of Dread. That's a lot of that is industry terms, I'm realizing, but hopefully this is nothing new. Last game, the group found themselves up against a Curse Ewer, which is a sort of a traditional Scavi, I believe, magic, which allowed them to sort of, it was like basically a sin eater. It allowed them to offload all of the evil onto this one person, and then that person would pass down the title to somebody else, and the evil would stay contained. But due to a sort of a strange circumstance, that had to end up being one of their own wingmates, and that was Idalia, their devoted, who basically had to be sort of severed from the wing because she became the next Cursewer, and now she is living in her hometown as a mortal-ish again, and is no longer part of their team. So on those sad tidings, you return to Pyre, which is the big volcanic rock in the middle of the ocean from which phoenixes spawn. You're perhaps not insulted, but you're not necessarily happy that there doesn't seem to be a huge period of mourning for Idalia going on at Pyre when you arrive.
Those fuckers.
Well, this would certainly not be the first Phoenix who has sort of left the Dawn Command, but also you're in the middle of a war, and there's not a lot of time for that. And Braid and Farrell and a few of the other Phoenixes that you've actually had a chance to spend time with, sort of see you in hallways and pat you on the back, and they like have moments with you. But everyone else is too busy sort of being. Actually, Braid's not there because Braid's wing is holding the beachhead for you guys. But other Phoenixes you've met, Fade and Farrell and those, and they pat you on the back, and there's a lot of sort of we'll have a drink when you get back, and even the marshals who were well aware of what's going on are sort of all business at this point. They basically they know they have to sort of get things done or everything's going to fall apart. And Winter, you can see sort of in the she's got a mask on her, like the lower part of her face, but you can see in her eyes that she doesn't want to not deal with this with you, but that she's like, hey, you have to go back in the field. It sucks. And Honor is there, who is the devoted marshal. And he comes up and says, he speaks, big giant suit of armor, and as he speaks, you can hear him. Everyone within like a mile can hear him as if he was speaking right to them. And
me?
yeah, it's a very confusing power. And he says, all right, the new wing and Braid's wing, I'm sure they have actual names, he says, are what are the names of those two wings, chat? Let us know. The new wing and Braid's wing, are holding their best as they can at the beachhead that we thought we were going to use. But it turns out that the path to the Shadowvar that we need you to take is going to be far more dangerous than we could ever have imagined. Some of the Shadowvar is basically an underground complex of cities where the Shadowvari people were sort of forced during the Great War. And they're, the Shadowvari are the sort of spooky, if you will, culture. Like they have a necromantic background, and they've been oppressed for so long that they have a lot of, they're almost like, it's like if the Fated went up to 11. Like their whole culture is about how they're all doomed and how others will get vengeance put upon them, and they've been displaced forever, so they have a lot of sort of scared traditions in that sense. But they all moved underground in these underground cities, which they used magic to create. And now those magics have been banned, so the Shadowvar can't even expand anymore. So they're basically just super oppressed peoples. And one of the Shadowvari cities, though, that does sort of touch the surface is called the Mouth. And it's a giant city that's sort of built into the side of a mountain, not like the one you were in before. That is like, it looks like one of those like Native American cities that you see like on the side of cliffs, if you will. Mm-hmm. But it goes much further back and sort of connects to the underground network there. And the Mouth is the center point of Shadowvari trade. So all like sort of commerce and diplomacy that's connecting with the Shadowvar goes through the Mouth, and it's the central connection to all their tunnels. Well, the other place you were going to go into the Shadowvari, complex was a smaller town that unfortunately fell while you guys were in Alona, and was basically entirely decimated, and as a result of that and circumstances that were done to contain it, was essentially destroyed. And now there's no way through there. So the only real easy way to go into the Shadowvar for you is through the Mouth, but the Mouth fell to the Chant at the same time. So, because basically the entire Shadowvari tunnel complex has contracted the Chant. So that sucks.
So about par for the course for us.
Yeah. Yeah, coffee, thanks. So you're going to have to, fight your way through a chant-infested lobster wing, says Braid? Sure. Okay.
Yes, in this reality, lobsters have wings.
No, because, lobsters are,
They have claws, they're spiders.
Let's
They're
go with
sea
that.
spiders
Yes,
with
exactly.
claws. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
of a delicious carrot.
All right, so
Fly out of the ocean.
You're basically going to have to fight your way in through the mouth, into the Shadowvari tunnels, and then go on from there towards where you think the source of the chant is based on the research that Ink was able to do in the hidden library. They give to you the healing vessels that you had once been gifted before. So the small sort of like fire in a ball that will heal you. We'll say it's going to be, that's 3 wounds, and you can use it whenever you want. You won't be disconnected from the daylight energy, so you'll still be healed at dawn, et cetera, but you won't be able to come to the surface once you've entered the complex. You're essentially there. It is important that you essentially like make a bulkhead as you go forward, and that every place that as you fight your way into the Shadowvari tunnels, that you make sure the path behind you is not closed off. Because if any of you fall, they're going to have to send them. You're going to have to tunnel your way back down to meet the rest of your wing. So, in helping you with that, they introduce you to one of the more famous phoenixes on Pyre, the sort of great hero of a number of battles, Atmos, who is an elemental. Winter says something about Kelvin being an obvious choice, but no longer being available, and doesn't say much more about it before she's called away. But Atmos is here, and he's a hero. If they had medals, you'd have him. But beyond that, tell us more about Atmos. Tell us what they see, and then tell us what you actually know of this character.
So as I approach the wing, you see a man, looks almost as if he's made of steel, about 7 feet tall, bald, but for the flames that wreath his head, like an old man. But the flames just kind of, they wick around his head. He has goggles on, so you can't see his eyes. He has what seems to be fine dress above some heavy-duty boots. And on top of that dress, he has a leather lab coat that is short-sleeved and has been cut into more of a cape that drapes behind him. It's full of pockets that don't seem to have anything in them. And on his back, he has a massive hammer that doesn't look like anybody could wield it, but it's also not very well detailed. It looks like a simple smelter's hammer, something you would use as a blacksmith. But you can tell it's been through quite a bit. He also has leather gloves. He approaches and says, "I've heard a lot about you guys."
I think it's hard not to.
Atmos, it's an unexpected pleasure. I certainly didn't think in the wake of losing Idalia we would find another to join our wing even temporarily so soon, especially not someone like you. He says self-deprecatingly.
So you're here to melt that entire mouth down into slag, keeping the chant underground forever, right? We're not actually going to go in and stop this thing.
We're going to do our best. And it's not just about the mouth. I'm not just here to hammer the dread, we'll say.
I think he's talking about you.
Look, I know I've been a problem, but God.
I'm going to give 3 rerolls to the group because I'm sure we had redraws, and I'll give you 1 because you're new today. Speaking of redraws, as we were heading out on our mission, you can always donate either through XP or cash for redraws or new environmental objects for the table. All of that is very useful, especially if it's going to keep these phoenixes alive for this particular rank of their phoenixdom. You can do that. I'm sure one of the mods will put the donations tab in there for you. I believe it is ! donations or !donate, one of the two. Also, for some cash donations, which you can also see in that tab, you can activate these characters' flares, which are either a positive combat flare or a negative social flare. Newbies don't have to deal with that. However,
I wanted some buttons.
if you want to give Atmos a positive flare, just donate with the word Atmos, and we'll give you something positive. I'm not. If you come back, you have to come here a second time before you develop a serious mental illness.
But don't worry, by the end of this, you'll be ready for that second
We
time.
have that effect.
and
What can I say?
And those donations, also the flares, that they're positive or negative and are cash only, half that money goes to character portraits for our cast, which are going to be done by the same artists who did the art for Phoenix Dawn Command, who I just reached out to today, and they're doing great. They have a cold. I think they're in a relationship. I'm going to go ahead and say it. They've got the same cold.
We have a cold.
Yeah, they live together and have a cold. It feels weird if they're not in a relationship. I still don't know.
Maybe
We
there's
haven't
some
had
sort of weird gestalt.
I don't know. Yeah. They're that much of art partners. They can't bear to be
When
apart
they say
from
art
each other.
collective, they mean art
Yes.
collective.
But no, the two of them are super psyched, and we can't wait. We would love to get enough donations from PDC over the next month or so to be able to sort of get them as like a Christmas present to you guys. And again, that art will be available here, and you can also, we'll make it available to buy on shirts and everything else, and also probably cards. I think Drive Through RPG actually has a custom card thing you can do. So
Plus, the flares are just a lot of fun for everyone, mostly, sometimes.
yes.
Like 3 times in Pyre, guys. What the hell?
Right. And, oh, by the way, you're already on the boat on the way out of Pyre because I just need to spare myself this fight.
We're talking to Amos. The next thing we know, we're in the ocean.
Yeah.
Hey.
And then Varya sunk the boat.
Yeah. They don't have there isn't. So anyway, that's it. Those are donations. Wolfman, who is our chat captain today,
Woo!
he will happily take your donations. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to send them to him. Although he may also just send them to me. Either's fine. Yes. So that's the nature of the beast, if you will.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Yeah, you do. All right, so they are sending you by ship to the mouth because the Shadowvar have not basically allowed any Aries to be activated there. They aren't in love with the Dawn Command, mostly because the war did not end well for them. And so as legendary heroes as the original Phoenixes were, they seem to have missed the Shadowvar in terms of saving them from the Koraton and all the other races that displaced them.
We have to treat the Shadowvar with utmost respect, even though we seem to be erstwhile opponents at this point, because they are the key to defeating the Chant once and for all. Based on my studies, I believe that to be true. I don't think they started it with any malice beyond self-defense, but it's obviously mutated into something more.
Well, our duty is to protect those of the Empire, and they are part of our Empire, and regardless of what part they played in the Chant, we will help them put us out.
We're either all together in this, or we're all defeated.
Positive side of the table is having spoken. What does the negative side of the table think?
Well, they fuck with me, and I can't guarantee anything. So just keep them away from me, and we'll be fine.
We'll do our level best. Eerie? Well said.
Eerie, every now and again you see, like in the flicker of the waves, it looks like the puppeteer's mask.
Hey!
Hey, guys!
It has become entirely clear that the puppeteer was literally splitting his time between you and Idalia, and now that Idalia is off the table, he's got a lot more time for you. So he shows up a lot more frequently for you at this point. So the journey takes a few days. Does anyone want to do anything during those few days? Specifically, it doesn't necessarily have to be something we have to work out now, but do you want to like have worked on something or train or whatever?
Well, I want to explore more of the physical connection between that book that I found in the library and Dream Shadow, my stylist, because you said that there was.
Yeah.
Looks like they may have been connected at some point.
All right. You can make an intellect spread if you want to sort of do that. That counts as research, which I think you have. Or lore? It's lore.
Okay.
Lore.
That's fine.
Lore.
There's
Lore.
10.
All right.
Which I'm using as intellect. And I can do 15, 19. Is 19 good? Do I
Yeah,
want to burn that
definitely.
extra spark?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
You feel like this book may have been at one point part of a Talon. Talons, being made of Pyrean steel or of other materials, don't tend to die with their phoenix the final time. And sometimes they're just sort of dragged back into regular circulation, especially if they're like man-sized or otherwise useful. So this book, like the clasps and parts of this book are Pyrian steel. You realize that doing some research on them. This might have been the talent of a former Phoenix, maybe a Shrouded, that has some connection to this stylus. Perhaps the stylus was even part of it, although the stylus was created with you, so you don't know how that works. But there are definitely a lot of like giant axes and strange spiked gauntlets that are just lying around somewhere from where Phoenix has died and no one can move them.
And 2 mysterious dice.
Varya walks by Ink's cabin but notices he's really in depth with the book and walks away.
Goddamn reading. Ruined yourself.
I'm going to pop up right next to him.
Eerie,
Read these two.
what am I looking at?
The pages about the puppeteer that I ripped out.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Cool. oh, that's.
So how do we kill him?
We're gonna have to be smarter than he is. Unfortunately, he can't be our priority right now. I understand the danger that you find yourself in, and by proxy, the rest of us. But give me some time to think on this. And just a refresher, what did we find in those pages?
Well, you haven't found anything in those pages yet, but I mean, the pages that he stole, they're ancient. Remember, the library was like contemporary to the time the puppeteer was current. They essentially describe interactions with the puppeteer, all based around the sort of mantra of the puppeteer that you know, which is that he gives people something in exchange for a price and believes that everyone has one, including, taking over or destroying entire nations and things as small as like, disrupting families. But it's always essentially a moral lesson of, the price being too high. The price for anything given freely, the price for
Nothing's free.
Yeah, the price for getting to the end of your path quickly is usually suffering.
Let me think on this.
And also has descriptions of him, which you would swear like turn and look at you as you are reading them.
Wizardry.
They look like Ted DiBiase.
Yeah.
It's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Is that Gary Oldman? You don't know who that is, but trust me, it looks just like Gary Oldman.
And featuring Gary Oldman as the puppeteer.
Yes. Oh man.
Do you want to buy something?
Watch that movie.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah,
got
I
a
would watch
price.
that too.
For some reason, the puppeteer sounds just like Zorg.
See, I picture him sounding more like Commissioner Gordon, just like real rational.
Yeah.
Oh,
geez, Gary Oldman is a national treasure. Okay, so
sorry.
I mean,
Did you
technically
see-
he's Britain's national
Yeah,
treasure.
that's true.
but,
Did you
Still
see
a national
Tiptoes?
treasure. Oh
where
yes.
Gary
oh
Oldman plays a little person?
Nope, not going to do that.
Yeah.
I was going to.
Okay.
Yeah.
And isn't Peter
Remember the good
Dinklage in
times.
that as well?
Yes.
As like his brother or something?
Peter Dinklage in the movie that almost ruined his life, probably, by causing him a... Yeah, but it is a movie about a little
Yikes.
person
Yeah.
that is...
Man, I love Gary Oldman. But
Gary
man,
Oldman.
That's just a
Fantastic.
bad choice.
Anyway.
Tiptoes.
sorry. Yes.
Anyway.
Tiptoes.
Choose not to watch it for moral reasons. All right, so the trip takes a while. You reach the summer shore, and they sort of, the guardsmen who you're there with show you off the boat and show you on the path to the mouth, which is a well-traveled road. And it's only a few days' journey. Again, you don't sleep, so you're able to just walk through the night. Eerie especially would have no trouble making this distance in a short amount of time. Mac, do you go on all fours when you need to go fast, or do you...
Sometimes.
Okay.
Interchangeable.
All right.
Depends on the terrain.
No, I'm literally snickering every time.
Here's another weird question that I'm not going to get away with in the chat, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. Are you wearing clothes?
I'll let chat decide for themselves in their imagination.
Okay. All right. So you're a 12-foot werewolf who may or may not be wearing, I don't know, a party dress, whatever happened to be handy.
Spawned an entire
Yeah.
subsection of
Because your
DeviantArt.
previous uniform was a wolf skin.
Yeah,
so-
but I mean, she had leather armor.
Okay,
but
yeah.
I mean, she's pretty much she's a giant werewolf. Like, there's nothing to why would she need clothes anymore?
Okay.
Honestly.
So there you go. So you.
Are you happy now? Is that what you wanted
yep,
to know?
Because Jesus knows you're naked.
Well, he can't. Well, I'm not going to say
No,
that. I don't know who's in chat.
Okay, here's the thing: is I feel like there's a difference in character between like you if you were a giant anthropomorphic werewolf, but you were wearing armor, that feels like a different character than the one that's the giant anthropomorphic werewolf that is not wearing armor.
I agree.
They feel like they have different energies.
She wouldn't need to at
Yeah.
this point. Basically, her uniform has been absorbed into being a giant werewolf monster.
Okay. Just helping people paint the picture of their fanfic. All right, so of their shipping.
Max Rack.
Yeah.
We always go back to that.
I literally now have to write a weapons rack into scenes that don't need them. Like
You put one into a one-off game that didn't even have Varya in it.
That's right. That was.
And
in
no one else
modern
was allowed
times,
to use it.
It was,
And it was
they were
guns
assault
and
weapons
stuff,
rack. Yeah. At this point now, I feel like there's like those guys who like move glass through like 80s movies who just like carrying a weapons rack through every scene and they're like surprised.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit!
She's not wearing clothes, but she's strapped like backpack straps onto a
Okay.
weapon rack, and she just carries it
I
with
know
her.
everybody else is complaining about this conflict with the Dread, but it's been great for business.
It's a fruit cart full of weapons racks.
Roger's weapon racks.
Chad, are we getting off topic too much?
Yeah,
Let us
no.
know.
It's fine. The
We
We're
won't
done. We
stop
don't care. We're just
necessarily,
gonna do our
people
thing.
just might think it's the Dark Sun game. All right, so.
Uh,
All right,
Yeah.
so you are Wolfman. Don't be afraid to check on those donations just in case, because they're in a lull. Okay, good, because they were having regular human interactions. That usually is a good time for them to make Varya go crazy. All right, so not during combat or anything where you think it makes sense. Okay, so
well,
Either
actually, yeah, no, that hasn't really happened during combat. It's
Yeah.
usually when I can do the most damage to everyone else around me
Yeah.
that I'm not supposed to be fighting.
chat
It's awesome.
likes to ruin our lives more than help it sometimes. All right, so
I love you, chat.
Just gonna toss a couple more waters in there. Be responsible.
Uh-oh,
Make sure it's
Sax got
hydrated.
quiet.
appreciate that.
That scares me.
Yeah, it's dark.
Am I turning into werewolf again?
no, not yet.
That was a weird time.
That wasn't
All
my
right,
time.
so I like Dark Sun's Interfaith. Don't worry about it. So it's this weird thing too, where chat is 30 seconds behind us. Hold on a second here.
No, Dark Sun is a lot of fun. It's Dark Sun.
Yeah.
And it's full of chaos
And
hilarity.
because Sean loves tangents, hashtag Sean loves tangents. All right, so you head over and you can see, miles ahead of you in the side of this sort of cliff face is the mouth. And you can see like the sort of buildings like roughly carved out of the stone, and you can see some like freestanding structures that have been built around it. And at this distance, you can also see that like a giant wall has been put up between like surrounding the entire exterior of the city, basically. And that wall is 100 feet from another wall which has been erected, and behind that wall are a bunch of Imperial troops. They're sort of out of earshot from it. And there's even, like there's like drummers like operating at all times, trying to make sure that there's no chance that like the wind would pick up the chant and like drift it over from the city. And just as you're sort of coming up close to the exterior wall where the Imperial Guard is waiting for you there, you can see that there's like, movement in the city, like windows, you'll see like what you know very well, they know very well, are chanter mobs, like running around the city trying to find unconverted people.
I'm getting real tired of the chant.
I feel we're coming towards the end with them.
I hope so.
Did you ever fight the chant, do you think? Did Atmos ever go up against the chant? Or is this your first occurrence with them?
I have
Your
not
first
encountered the
chanting.
chant yet. I've encountered quite a few manifestations of the dread, but the chant is something new to me. So I guess I'm going to have to rely on your knowledge of the chant.
Does anyone want to lay it
Oh,
out for
you
him
poor,
as you're heading
poor
in through?
thing.
Like the guards are opening the gates for you, so you can sort of walk
It
in
just
towards
looks
the
like the Red Sox won the World Series in there, but I imagine that's not what happened.
I understand that cultural reference. I'll explain it to you later.
I don't care.
The way the chant works essentially is it's a song that starts with one person singing, and it overtakes them, and it rules their being, and then it spreads, and with every entity that it spreads to, a new verse is added, and the only thing that repeats is the chorus, and it takes longer and longer for that, and it robs the chanters of their life force. It turns them into mindless husks spent only on destruction. It doesn't affect everyone.
Here is a sampling of the chant.
Okay, it has to stop.
Exactly. You can see how nefarious it is.
Oh, and also they're basically mindless and bleeding.
Yes.
I remember when we first started this game, and I had contracted my friend Cynthia, who is a master of dead languages, and a bunch of my friends who
I
are
remember
poets.
you saying that. Yeah.
And they were gonna build a version of the chant for us to play here, and then we did the careless whisper joke, and then at that point that became the chant, and there was no solving it. Anyway, so
it doesn't affect everyone. It will use the host body up until there is nothing left. Those unaffected will be set upon by the chanter mobs and destroyed. And the most devious beings in the chanter mobs we have to look out for are the whisperers. They are the perpetrators of the song. But I've recently uncovered the actual origin of the song that I feel like we might be able to use against it. Sort of an anti-chant, if you will.
And for fun, there could be innocents in there that have somehow either become immune or they have plugged up their ears against it in some way. And likely they're going to be ripped apart if we don't find it.
You should
first.
know we all have been exposed to the chant with various outcomes. Phoenixes have a certain resistance, but keep your guard up just in case.
Okay, well, I'm going to let the weird look Eerie gave me just pass on by. Out of morbid curiosity, I'd like to know if the bleeding is simply just a gross thing, or does it serve a purpose?
As far as I know, it's only biological. The magic, the evil is in the song itself.
Look, it's gross.
Yeah. It's nasty.
out of character, I'll tell you that the ectoplasm that fills them up pushes all their blood out, which is even grosser.
So yes, if you're familiar with embalming, they have to drain the blood and then inject.
It's gross.
It's gross. Yes, it's best avoided.
It's mostly just a gross thing.
It's mostly gross.
Don't touch.
Super gross.
People who've been taken over by the chant.
Really best avoided.
All right.
Yeah.
So
And expect to need to wash your outfit after this.
as you're walking from one gate to the other,
leather lab coat.
as you're walking from one gate to the other, you
But
can
steel
see
just wipes off. Yeah, that's fine.
there's an anti-chant battalion there, and you can each man and woman in the anti-chant battalion you can see they've just been their ears have been severed, and they have they either have decorative pieces over them, depending on their culture. They have some sort of we're gonna embellish this wound. Other of them to just have a full-on burn where their ear used to be.
They Van Gogh'd themselves.
Tongues cut out, all that.
Yeah.
How's cutting your ear off stop the sound?
No, they go in there.
They get right in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take out.
It's like a burrito, they kind of fold it in on itself, and then they just,
Would that be like if you get a
grill that
vasectomy and then you
fucker.
just also cut off your dick? It doesn't change you already did that part of it. Why do you?
Chanters don't do that too, do they?
No, they don't
that
cut off
we've
your dick.
experienced
The
yet.
ectoplasm
They just
sometimes
really
pushes
want
the
to be
penis
sure,
out.
okay?
Josh, you're gonna as charming as it is, we're gonna have to move your mic more central because we're
Oh,
losing
okay.
you when you turn.
Because it is charming.
Now it's on your vest. All right, so
It's still on the lapel.
I'm gonna break his jaw.
It's the inner side
right,
of
cool.
the lapel.
Let us
You're
know.
fine.
okay, yeah. All right,
Good,
so
we're cool, we're hip.
but these chant that, and they're all speaking to each other in some version of sign language, and you can see that they have rough semantic sort of gestures. So they're tapping and whatnot and moving, and they've been doing this for a while since the chant was we figured out then that the chant doesn't affect people who can't hear it, literally can't hear it. They've been training, and so they're completely capable. They can also read lips, and so they're reading. Those of you who have lips, they can't figure out what you're saying at all. Damn it, we didn't learn this for muzzles. What the hell?
Ink's also just writing on the air, we're from Pyre, we're here to end the chant.
They know you.
Yes.
Eerie's a dick.
I don't think it's funny either.
All right, so they walk you over to the interior doors and they open them for you, and they sort of indicate that you can go in. And then as soon as you're through, they shut them and bar them. These walls are thick. Chanters have a lot of strength, and whisperers have a lot of telekinetic power. So they've reinforced these walls. They're very heavy battlements.
What's wrong, Varya?
It's the chant again.
I know, you should be used to it by now.
Used to and liking things are completely different.
Indeed.
So you're heading into the city towards where the
hope
city
you
enters
die.
the caves. Do you want to do anything specifically other than just march on your duties?
open to suggestions, but I feel that time is of the essence, and we need to move as quickly as we can against this particular outbreak. But
I mean, we don't know how many are in here.
no.
They're not going anywhere.
Do we want to try and at least get a sense? I mean, like, how much blood do I smell?
A
That's
lot.
really the question.
You smell a lot of blood.
Okay. Does it
all
smell like there
blood.
are like a billion in here, or are we like hitting pockets of them?
It looks like most of the city has fallen just visually.
What are you gonna hit? Chant pockets.
I hope you die twice.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
It was very charming. And Chant Pockets and Hot Pockets are equally evil. So it was so great.
Yeah.
So you
But they both
Open
ooze
center.
red.
yeah.
Chanting in the evening, chanting in the morning, chanting at supper time.
And they're surprisingly hot. All right, so you get to you can smell like a lot of blood, a lot of dried blood, a lot of filth. Like there are probably rotting bodies around too. It does not smell good. The whole city is basically
Swell. This is why I asked
Dead.
those
Overrun.
questions.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of options here. You could make a beeline for the caves and try and fight your way in there, and then get into the caves and head on your mission to try and find the chant source. Or you could try and look for survivors here, or even further, you could try and figure out if there's a chant shard here that you could cleanse and maybe free the city, or at least allow a bulkhead to be made here at the city. That would certainly make it easier for any of you who fall to get back, because you won't have to fight your way through the mouth again. But that will probably mean, unless you guys save sparks or find another way around it,
Then
that
we're
would probably
fucked
mean
once
that
you go
one
to
of
the
you will have
caves,
to
yeah.
burn it out.
Although, if we find the source, likelihood is that's going to take everything down.
True, but if for some reason we get to the source and we're unable to defeat it, if we've set up measures here, perhaps they can seal off the mouth.
How are we going to find the shard? If you recall, they're not very big. And unfortunately, they don't smell really distinct, so I'm not really sure how we're going to find them.
You have the other shard fragments with you, by the way.
I'm glad you brought Roxy. Good job, Ink.
Will like one of them point the direction to the other shards?
Sure, actually, yeah. Can I do a lore check on this or something to see if maybe there's some way I can...
They call to the others.
Exactly.
Well, yes. Go ahead and make a lore spread. That's the answer to that is yes.
I got 10 automatically. I can do 17 all told.
Okay.
I feel like we need more.
Yes, 17.
You feel like you could use psychometry to direct you to this if you had it, or you feel like Atmos could use flame sorcery.
Wait, I just had psychometry. I had psychometry.
Use the arcane.
Yeah.
Skill check.
You could use an arcane skill check to basically like you can essentially cast fire spells, so you can cast a spell to this end.
Guess what I have?
Okay, either works.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna.
His favorite card in the whole deck.
I mean, you could also save it then, and have Josh make a spread.
Atmos, may I ask your assistance in this
Yes,
particular matter?
And then, okay, just
So-
I have 5. My hand is there is it 6?
I haven't
7?
seen you
What's-
use this
your hand is
particular thing
5.
before when we were
Um,
looking for a
so this
shard
is
in
an
a group
intellect
of
spread
people
with the
evacuating the city,
arcane.
so.
I understand your
Um,
misgivings, Varya.
And
I
so
don't
So I
think
do
you
have
do.
add
I
5
do
total.
more than you possibly understand.
it's gonna be 5 plus whatever you play, up to 3 cards, and I believe you can turn Grace into Intellect.
Yeah, interchangeable.
So
It's difficult when you don't trust your wingmates to use their abilities to the best of their possibilities, isn't it?
yeah.
Do you want to play this game right now?
No. Ooh.
All right. So as it is an intellect spread, I
Hashtag moonlighting.
get right now, 14 is what I'm working with.
All right. 14. You're sort of well. What does your fire magic look like? So there's a bunch of these like essentially shards of a tablet that you have access to, and you're trying to find another one. How does that spell come off?
So I reach back for my hammer and I spin it in the air slowly before lifting up with both hands, bring it down on the earth.
Wait. Okay.
And you see just red lightning just trace out from the impact throughout the city. And just it's a series of small shock waves and dust lifts up from the earth. Basically a giant lightning sonar.
All right, that works. You get an impression that and so discard those and draw up because you're not in combat right? You would generally draw up after you took an action anyway, but so you get the impression that the chant shard is probably closer to the cave side of the mouth, but also a little bit further away from where you would be wanting to go. Like you could sort of divert towards it.
Okay, well, it appears we might have to make a little bit of a detour. You guys have more experience with the chant than I do. If you think we can take the source,
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth trying.
Mike, check your mic. Check both your check.
I'm on blue, if that helps.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Middle there.
Yep. Check.
Yeah. Maybe just pull it down actually a little bit so it'll go under. So it's not going to be blocked by your collar at all.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm talking at volume in sequence.
Okay.
Oh.
You want another drink? You can say words.
Telling Robert that his mic needs to be up.
Yeah. There we go. Cool. This gesture got drink to me. I don't know why. It's the international symbol for
drink you. Come here.
Drink. I'm drinking. I'm gonna drink you. All right. So you head off in that direction, and it's not long before someone in like a window sees you, like from a broken window, and there's suddenly a bunch of refugees like running out towards you, and some of them like have like bleeding ears, so they've clearly like dried blood on their necks, like style. But some of them also have like just seem fine, but they're otherwise they've avoided the chant up until now, and they come running out at you from like an abandoned building, and they're sort of heading out towards you in the street. And just as you're taking that in, you can hear the chant coming from like around another corner, and it starts pouring out. So there's about 100 people in a mob, and they're all, but they sort of, it's like Thriller style, like they all kind of act together in perfect harmony. So they sort of, yes, they do.
Yeah.
They do the only thing that everyone knows from Thriller is that one, and then this thing that way, and then the meh. Anyway, so okay, that's somebody fucking clip that. All right, so you So they come running around the corner, and there's a full chant mob. Here's a chanter mob if anyone wants to see them.
So some of these innocents have not plugged up their ears, though. So.
Yeah, but they have survived this long, so maybe they're just immune?
But like we've established, not to rocks. So
Yeah. So the chanters are moving quite quickly, and so one of you needs to take the torch and get involved with that.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold them back and direct them towards the fucking exit. I'm gonna get them out.
All right. So, how is that manifesting? How are you indicating to the?
The survivors?
I'm just going at the mob and just like quack, 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 quack on the front line of Trent. Just sort of keep them back or redirect them away. Just give the people enough time to skedaddle.
Make a few attacks. And you have the torch, you do. Okay.
Yeah.
So the chanters have a defense of 3, in case anyone you are well familiar with that by now.
have we got stuff in the room?
Oh yeah, there is. Certainly. Where is this particular pack? I separated them, and that was on purpose. Okay,
So that
there
you got rid of
are
stuff out.
a broken wall. There is some steampunk rebar. You can
That's
imagine.
very specific.
You can imagine your own steampunk rebar.
Yeah.
It's rebar, but rebar hasn't been invented yet, so it's steampunk rebar. Yeah, and 20 years from now it will be dieselpunk rebar. There is some giant rocks. There is the chant, which you can use, but using it will put the chants in you. But it also makes you invisible to chanters. There is a weapon rack, because Mac's here. And then there are 2, #MaxRack, and there are 2 that the chat can determine. What are 2 objects you would find on a ruined city street, chat?
Go back to your improv training.
Yes. All right, how many attacks of how much is that?
7, 8, 7, 7, and 7.
All right. You knock a bunch of.
Also, I'd burn 2 for absolute precision, so I can play extra cards, and 1 for the terrifying to stun them for a turn.
Okay. Yep. All right. So they are stunned, and you have defeated a significant amount of them, just sort of like knocking away the human bodies that the chant is currently embodying. That means there are 2 more of you before the chant go off. Who wants it?
All right.
Go for it. Smashy, smashy.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and activate Grimclaw by sort of leaning into it, but you notice that Varya hesitates for half a second before she does, but then leans into it, kind of gets a little bigger, a little nastier. And let's see what I have. I will take the weapon rack.
Okay.
Yay!
Because I'm just going to hurl it into the mob of chanters. The whole rack with all of, the entire thing. I'm just going to pick it up and hurl it. If somebody can cross that out for me.
Mostly dead. Okay. All right.
Yeah, sorry, taking from the chat here, Braid suggested a mostly dead tuna.
Braid.
And that is like a tuna, like an actual tuna is a big
It's like
fish.
a 400-pound fish.
Yeah, it's a big fish. So a mostly dead tuna and an overturned trash can are going to be the 2. Thank you,
Sure.
I like to think
Dungeon
one was in
Detective.
the other.
Yes.
Just separate them. Like, okay, we need these.
So it's
we
like,
need these
the
separate.
chant is coming. Throw away the tuna.
But it's not dead yet.
So that's going to give me.
Is the card cam seeing that okay?
Come down a bit. Come my way a bit.
Good, cool.
There?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to give me 5, 8, 16, 17, 21.
21. All right. And you drew a card from the.
I did not draw one for the wound. I drew one for that card.
Okay,
though.
cool.
So actually, I have an
So
extra
21, that's
card.
19.
So I
it's
should have an extra
3,
card in my
6,
hand.
9,
Yay.
12, 15, 18.
Because I will probably.
All right, so you slam a huge swath of the chanters away, and you can see them all like impaled on the weapons from the weapons rack and like falling and tumbling over, and some of them are like barely animate, and then they kind of like drop, and that's that. One more of you gets to go before.
Blow some shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Get the feeling we should fuck shit up.
Does it matter how the giant rocks are? Are they above? Are they just on the
It's up to you,
ground?
yeah. This game definitely there are definitely giant rocks here, but how they manifest is on you.
Okay.
I used moonlight as a weapon once.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
You know how to
The
be
sharpest
confused with
of lights.
moonlighting.
Yes.
Right. I take Sybil Shepherd.
Strangers
You're
by
over it.
night, strangers by
I
church.
think Bruce Willis more like for the blunt damage.
Well, yeah, but no, this is for brutal damage.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Can we get a little close up on me real quick?
Oh, Jesus.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Wow.
Sorry, anyway.
I knew you were
How much
classically
cold
handsome.
medicine did you take?
All of it! Actually, no, it's wearing off, so this is just...
He's just chugging the fucking bottle.
Well, this is just me being exhausted right now.
And chugging the fucking bottle.
All right.
I'm also
So-
looking up the moonlighting theme.
Oh, jeez.
Go on.
I see that there are large rocks right above the crowd of chanters, and I think
Convenient.
that if I fire some of my ranged arcane or my fire magic at these boulders, it could probably bring them down and destroy the rest of them.
Well, this
And
isn't
smush the rest of their gross bodies.
this is an attack spread, so you'll use whatever your combat style you want is. So in this case, it'd be fire
Yeah.
shaping. So you can make an attack of 2 intellect cards,
And I can also.
and you can apply
find-
traits as
Yeah.
you see fit. Just need to justify them, and any of your other abilities that are on your myriad of abilities there.
All right.
I didn't
Moonlighting theme.
Yeah.
Give me back 2 of those stars. I just realized that I was thinking absolute precision. It lets me make a big single spread, but I didn't need that.
Which I guess I'd forgotten was Al Jarreau.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like moonlighting is definitely one of those things that has been lost to time for
Oh.
most people younger than our
Why would
generation.
we talk about it in 2016?
Yeah.
It has no bearing on society.
I bet
Someone
it does not age well. I bet it's like
Spurs.
super misogynist and just awful.
Can I use cards as I draw them or no?
Well, you don't
the
draw.
box
Oh,
set,
you.
I
So
should
what?
watch
You're using
it.
those two.
And then one
So what?
goes-
How are
Box
you
I've
using
seen
them?
it.
So how are you being
I've only seen
resourceful,
bits and pieces.
and how are you being
So-
whatever that other one
An
is?
episode here and there.
So it's resourceful.
Oh, it's just resourceful,
And
yeah.
then
Like,
grace, I'm
learning
burning
it
his
first
intellect.
time.
And so resourceful,
We said
I've realized that
things
the,
that are
the structural
messed up
weakness
now.
of the wall that's supporting these giant boulders will allow allow me to create a catastrophic failure in the wall
Mm-hmm.
that should destroy these chanters if
Okay.
I hit it just right.
All right,
My
so-
architectural background.
So you'll draw a card from that,
Seagram's Gold
and you're
Wine
going to draw a
Cooler,
card
right?
from Giant Rocks, and you can cross that off. And those are the two you draw. And yes, you can definitely use them if they apply.
And then
I know.
resourceful.
I don't want
Draw 2 cards, place one of those cards back on top
He
of
made
your
it.
deck.
Cool.
Blues band.
So
So why don't you draw
Which
one?
was
Did
the
you draw
shiny
one from
one?
Giant Rocks
You're
already?
singing
I drew
blues.
2 for that.
Bruno.
So draw one from Giant Rocks
We're
first.
having a
That way,
Bruno.
otherwise you're
I
just going to put one
remember
back and then
watching
take it
that as a kid
again.
being
So
like,
it'll make the power useless.
Consider the first I
understand
drew
this.
for Giant Rocks.
Michael J. Fox
so
is
that-
in this. Why is
Yeah.
Michael J.
No,
Fox
no,
in this?
you still only
Stays
have.
me.
You still only have a total of 2 cards in this spread.
Okay, gotcha.
So unless it's another trait, you can't use it now.
Okay, cool. And so then I draw a card, put it back on the top of the deck. Which
Yeah.
is weird.
Yeah, I mean, if you trust me, it'll be useful. So
Yes, have
Yeah.
some.
Yes.
From anyone, it just goes back in.
you draw a
there.
card. Well, you drew 1 card, then you drew 2 cards, and of those 2, you put one back. So draw
Okay.
2 and put one back, as you want.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
And if it's a trait, you might be able to apply it to this. But if not, don't worry about it.
It is indeed. But I think it's Hunter. I don't have to use it in.
Oh yeah, no, but you can use it in this attack spread
Okay.
because you're hunting
This is
them.
the diehard guy.
All right.
Alright. What is going on over there?
I only get
It's
one
just best
card.
not to ask questions. 'cause
Okay.
I can't use
But-
it because it's Grace.
Oh
so.
no, but you can always use a trait in any circumstance.
Yeah.
So if you can
okay.
tell me how you're
Let's-
being a hunter, like I
Go
used
ahead
to
and say it,
use
though.
a
Seagram's
rock
is pretty
snare
shitty.
to kill
It's
deer,
not as- I mean,
then
it's worse than Bartle's
apply
James.
hunter. That
Terrible way to
not
kill
good.
deer.
Not a good
It's exceedingly cruel.
and also destroys the meat. I didn't say he was a good hunter. It doesn't say skilled hunter. It just says hunter. We never ate, but I hunted a lot of shit.
And that's why you died. Because you starved to death.
So I use my
missed
skills as a
something.
hunter to gain better ground
Okay.
and clamber up a small wall or a tall wall in order to.
So that's 5, and you can draw a card from that too because it's a trait, but you're not gonna be able to.
And then I can't use that one.
yeah.
So now I just have all the cards.
Yes, so that's 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 1 is 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so that is going to be 13, so minus 3 is 10, so that's 3 more. So yes, you blast a bunch of the rocks and they come falling down from the top of the sort of cliff face and smush a bunch of the chanters. All right, the chanters are...
Huzzah.
That grossness is contained.
should also
Swoosh
cross
some of it.
the
Some
giant rocks out.
Some of the grossness. Some
of the
of it
gross.
oozed out from underneath the rocks. It's just like
We got our rocks.
that and the tuna.
Ugh.
It's just all bad.
See, girl, golden wine cooler.
Eerie is why we can't have nice things.
All right, so the Eerie and no, we're gonna say Varya and Atmos make a defense spread of 7.
And they got stunned, right?
Oh yeah, I've counted this stun.
7. I can give 5.
Okay, so that's 2 divided by 2 is 1. Take 1 wound,
All right, and I get to draw a card from that. Ooh, that's interesting.
and you drew up after that your turn, yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I'm
cool.
Fine.
And you're fine with 7, so you're good.
I don't know, 6.
Oh, you don't have to defend.
Me?
Oh,
what?
it's
Oh,
the 2 of
sorry.
them.
Just the 2.
So the chanters roll up over the hill on top of you, and they're grabbing you and like trying to pull you apart and beating on you with supernatural fists, and you're just sort of getting out of the way. So, and-
I am going to reprimand them.
okay.
If you're attacked by an opponent and do not take wounds, you may burn 1 spark to make an immediate counterattack that ignores defense, and you may use strength or grace to attack.
Fantastic.
3
Lovely.
cards. Since it's the end of the turn, I'll just burn these because I need intellect to attack anyway.
Well, this is your defense, so you won't draw up until the top of your next turn. But you have redraws of the table, so you'll be
Yeah.
fine. So that is 3, 9, which is going to be 2 more wound levels. So yes, you
Plus the talent.
plus your talent,
So 11.
11. Still only 3 wound levels.
Because it's not brutal damage.
Yep. Oh, you can build a spark if you want. If you burn 1 more spark, you'll take out another wound level of them.
Well, fuck them.
Boom. There you go. I'll take those.
Maybe he is okay in this way.
Yeah. And that's why he's legendary.
Yeah. So how does that look? Like they run up and try and attack you and it doesn't work, and then what do you do? What does your reprimand look like?
So for a second, I'm just surprised because this is real strange to be mobbed by a bunch of weird, bleeding, earless people.
These people have their
Yeah, these
they
people
have their
unfortunately have their
Okay,
ears.
they're
That's their
eerie
problem.
people.
Yeah.
There's your
I
problem.
look back at you guys, see you mostly just looking on. Varya has been attacked,
Yes.
taken a little bit of damage.
So these people have ears.
I would
they're-
be
they're
so
eerie.
worried about Varya taking on
They-
damage.
But
Eerie.
I'm eerie.
Varya does
They
a
don't
lot more
have-
damage when she's
but I don't
damaged.
know
It's eerie.
I'm not aware
Oh,
of this quite yet.
you might be, because everybody's heard about Varya at this
Everyone
point.
knows.
Yeah, well, you definitely know that.
I'm
at
kind of a
least
big
that,
deal.
That you definitely know that one of the highest ranked bidders has gone crazy in Pyre several times and tore one of the other phoenixes in half at one point.
And
So
they
you
let her
see the
back in.
flames on my hair flames flicker and then turn a bright blue before I lower my arms.
Okay.
And the crowd ignites in flames from the ground beneath me.
Ooh,
Yeah.
You see nothing but light.
nice.
And then whoever the champion deals
Fire
with that.
bad.
All right, so yeah, it's your go for it.
So honestly, just kind of dumbstruck by you, I'm like, I'm gonna go try and find the Whisperer now. And then as soon as he is, I activate Dream Shadow and I go hidden.
I think hasn't seen weird shit.
Well, yeah. So, and I can do another card while I'm hidden. So there's 4, 7, 11. That should be fine, right?
11 damage.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just gonna
Yeah,
slice a few of them as on the way
Yeah.
through. All right, that is -3, 1, 2 wounds. Oh, down to 1. One of you can finish him off, and it's now anyone's torch too.
Would you like to, or would you like me to?
I'm gonna go kick the remaining ones in the nuts,
Okay.
like crazy hard. Pop and
All right. You're gonna attempt to
As
punt
As
them.
always,
them.
Eerie is super class.
Yeah. All right. They
In the
only-
immortal words of Grand Moff Tarkin, charming to the last.
There's only a few like actual bodies left, so you don't have to put much into this.
Insult to injury, you just lay down one card and it's like, boop.
I guess I'll just do this because I'm gonna burn these off anyway. 7 plus 10, so 17.
All right. Yes, you kick that person's groin into space, and you and that they go down, and that chant mob sort of dissipates. But you can already hear like chanting coming from various alleyways. There is a sort of giant Gestalt intelligence, so they're sort of dragging like all the chant mobs to you now.
How long is it gonna take to get these stupid humans out?
Most of them have already run back towards the door. They're probably, I mean, it's if you want to fall back with them. Need something, Dave? Okay. You could fall back with them and like escort them to the door. It would only take you a little while, or you could just assume they're going to make it because you walked through that way.
There's no time. We have to find the shard now
I'll
and
catch
deactivate
Let
up
them
with
go.
you. I'm gonna follow them, get them out. I can
Okay.
Let him go.
Atmos, how much farther are we to the shard based on what you found?
You think it's probably another, maybe mile or so into the city.
At a jog, 5-6 minutes at the outside.
Let's
Eerie
go.
can catch up with us easy.
Fine. Let us go.
All right, so you're heading through. I'm going to keep these environmental objects in play, and one of you, is going to have to be like sort of like the person leading you around the corners, and you need to make a grace spread to avoid like leading you into a chant mob.
Not it.
I can do that.
I feel like this is one of those rhythm games where
Yeah, you can draw them now 'cause
circle
combat
those,
isn't-
it'll boom. You gotta hit it right down.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have Vanguard, so if I make a skill spread, it starts with leadership. I can add 5 to it. So
I'm-
depending on
I'm all
what
for
I
following
depending
you.
on what I have in my hand. Nope, you lead the way.
All right, cool.
Follow me, I know the way.
Yeah,
Got
one's
lost
got
in
lost
his
in
own
his
museum.
Okay. Now, are these going to be a series of skill spreads or
No, just one.
Okay.
Just basically to like sort of
Don't suck.
grace spreads.
Okay. So there's 7 right there, and then I'm going to ask anybody who wants to throw in a spark to increase by 3 for each spark.
Even though we know we're heading for a fucking thing
Nope.
that we're gonna have to burn a lot of sparks into.
Okay, so that's 13
Just a
there.
reminder.
Seeing our behind the camera today is Wolfman, who is currently 10-1, but he'll be back. So yeah,
13.
13.
13 is what
All
we're
right.
working with.
Okay,
You got all three of us, right?
16 then.
16. All right, you definitely seem like you're you definitely get ahead of it, and it seems like you're you go down an alley and you'll kind of hear like in the movies you'll like see a shadow on a wall in the far part of the alley, and there's like and the shadow has like a bunch of like angry crowd shadow puppets, like, and oh no, not that way, and then you'll go another way and you hear like no that way, like hide, whatever the chant sounds like in your head, and you careless whisper. So you basically manage to navigate through without running into any more chanters.
Okay.
And you run into sort of Central Market Square, which seems a common place for chant outbreaks to
That's where people gather. I get it.
also it's a stab at capitalism. No, and commercialism has caused this problem.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
The chant is us, and we're the chant. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that works on a lot of levels.
We are.
Yeah.
There is
We
a
did this.
whisper gestalt here. You want to put the whispers?
Well, we won't have dice.
Oh,
cam
that's
now,
right.
but-
Just put on the dice cam for now, because we'll get around the comment in a second.
Wolfman, hit the dice cam.
I got the dice cam right in.
Oh,
Okay.
Is that a sexual thing? I don't understand.
but I'm into it.
If you want it to be.
All right, so there's your whisperer. There's a bunch of those. They sort of like hold hands and
Aww.
yep,
Sing
and they sort of like
Kumbaya.
float around in a circle.
Oh, that's real gross. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to our wing.
Because it's a
Yeah.
chanter, but it's hovering.
It's like usually things that I encounter are all the way dead.
Yeah.
These are like bloody pussy things
Yeah.
that float around and say stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the tuna, they're only mostly dead.
Yeah.
Poor mostly dead tuna.
Unpleasant.
Thank God it's still here.
Oh,
Um,
here
The picture's painting itself.
Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a chant singer.
Seriously though, cold medicine, huh? You love it.
Well, I'm usually drunk, so I don't know. Take your pick.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not drinking today. It's so crazy. How can our show even
Give me
continue?
another beer, please.
I'll stop.
I'm dieting.
Are you ready for simpler times?
Yes, I am. In so many ways. So many ways.
There you are. Would you like one, Shay?
Yeah, sure.
In game and out of game.
course.
So,
You want to toss the tech booth one of those two?
Want a hand detect with one of those?
Yeah, please don't toss it.
und now wir
I was gonna-
officially out.
I was gonna rocket it over there. And a bottle labeled Joe Dirte, which is just disturbing.
Oh yeah, don't touch
yeah,
that.
no, I'm not. I would not want to.
No, I've already asked about that, and it was a nebulous answer at best, so it's just best not to
Yeah.
pursue that.
All right, so there is a whisper gestalt here and a bunch more chanters, and this sort of seems like the central hive of where this activity is taking place. And the chanters are basically just sort of like swaying and like chanting, sort of waiting to be dispatched by the whisperers, and they're sort of rotating. And you can see in the middle of them, as you're used to seeing, is the chant shard that's sort of just rotating through. Make a observation spread.
I can do that.
Make an observation spread, Mike. Man, coffee's good.
The most I can do is 11.
11?
Yeah. Well, hold on. Unless you let me throw in psychometry.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Would that one apply here? Because you just have to see something.
So yeah, so
Go ahead,
11.
11.
Yeah.
All right, so 11. You do notice that one of the chanters in one of the mobs is like holding something in his fist, has like a firm grasp of something, and is just sort of like shifting around with it while everyone else is sort of like hands down, doing the chanter dance, and
It's a chanter dance.
Oh, sure. When you do it, it's fine.
Pretend if you want
Yes,
to
that is
really
accurate.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad there's a double standard.
How many whispers are we dealing with?
All of them.
The Whisper Gestalt counts as one creature. It's 3 Whisperers.
All of them, 16 of them.
But they, let me see. I think I might have to actually up their stats a touch. But they are, there's 3 of them, and they kind of work as one collective mind. And they're flying in the center there. But between you and them is a bunch of chanters.
Okay, well, if I
One
may.
dude playing Pokemon Go.
Wait, hold on, since we're entering into combat.
Dude, you can get
I
so.
can attack at range though, so.
There's, like, so many
but I'm the only
Ghastlies
one
in
who
here.
can do that.
Well, anyone can burn a spark to chant at range. Sorry.
To attack at range.
Yeah, anyone can burn a spark to attack at range. There's no problem there.
Oh, here
Well.
she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes.
Are you talking about Varya?
I'm not talking about Varya. Hey. Well, Ink kind of wants to
do I
make a
keep
beeline
going back
for
here?
the guy who's carrying whatever, and he's going to go hidden.
Okay.
Unless, what?
No, that's good. And then I'm gonna do a thing once you're hidden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he'll take his action, then he'll pass you the torch.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does that work? Okay, cool.
Wait, are you gonna attack from your
Hidden position.
hidden position?
Well, I mean, I have to get up on them, but yes.
Okay.
What are you planning?
Okay, so with Vanguard, when I make a successful attack, the next attack spread made against my victim inflicts brutal damage.
Oh, why don't we do that?
That's what I was wondering. if
Yeah,
that's
no.
an
So I'm about to go
Torch,
hidden, and
yeah,
I
it's good.
picture Atmos going like, no.
idea. Yeah,
Hold
I
on a
have an
moment.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and I also have
I'm
more
gonna put
ideas.
Civil Shepherd damage on that.
So I'm going to attack the creature wielding whatever this object is.
Okay.
Um,
It's a chanter. It's a regular chanter.
All right. And so I'm going to play 9 base,
Mm-hmm.
burn a spark for the intellect,
Mm-hmm.
and consume heat. When I play that, we
Mhm.
all get a spark back.
Yay!
So I didn't burn a spark, and you guys
Yeah.
all get your sparks.
I haven't spent any.
Oh,
And
there's,
so-
there's one back,
Go.
and then one over here.
So then Varya gets one.
Mhm.
And so that brings us to a total of 12.
12?
That attack.
Oh, plus your Talon. Or did
12.
you-
Well,
okay,
yeah,
just
yeah,
making sure.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
All right, so that is
So it's not massive. but-
14, was it? 12, 13, 14. So that is 11. So 1, 2, 3. So you knock off 3 health levels from that chant mob, and you burn. And the guy that you were was there is one of the ones. I'm assuming this is fire that you're shooting at them, or what is it?
Yeah, I really like my hammer a lot, so take it again.
Yeah.
Well, and I just slammed on the ground and a ripple in the earth before a tear opens up and fire spreads out from the point of impact and engorges the first.
I was gonna say
ray
this is
of
your-
the.
This is your first Phoenix Donkey Man game, but you play it like a pro.
Yeah.
This is what it is. So
I like
it's
lighting
a
things
good-
on fire.
Yeah,
I
know.
brought a big hammer. I'm gonna use it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Brought the big hammer. Things are getting engorged. Textbook Phoenix Down Command.
Yep. All right, so you slam on the ground. A bunch of the chanters like fall or are burned by the fire, and the guy that you were looking at falls. And you can see he has a chant shard. It's not activated, but like he was clearly holding it, maybe intending to bring it somewhere.
Okay.
And it falls down. He's dead.
Well, I'm making a fucking beeline for him, and I'm hidden, and I'm gonna run over and use psychometry on that fucker.
Okay.
So here, have a couple of sparks.
Okay.
And just in case you all have forgotten what psychometry looks like.
There it is. Psychometry.
Yeah. And I just want to see what's up with that chant shard.
I feel like if any card in this game should have custom art, it should be psychometry. All right, so you grab it and you can. Well, I'm gonna be mean a bit, Mike. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay.
Give me 1 second to get the tools of your destruction. Choose the form of your destruction. I wanted to pick something really innocent.
It wouldn't have been
Something that wouldn't hurt anyone. Something from my childhood.
Take an affliction.
Oh, affliction!
It
Yay!
basically,
It's a Stay Puft Marshmallow.
And that's an affliction T-shirt.
it basically puts the
Because you
chant in your head
diabetes.
because you sort of connect to it.
Okay.
But while you're in there, while you're sort of connected to this chant, you realize that like now, from this perspective, almost like sort of like imagine like the musical notes of the chant laid out,
Sure.
and then you sort of like pass through them, and you now see them sort of sideways or long ways, and you can see like a terrible devious message inside them and a plan, and like the musical notes spread out over a map of the world for you, and you can see how its intent is to spread in various different directions, and you basically what you come away with, you know, to encapsulate it is that the chant was deliberately was like that the chant itself was sending this shard to try and spread itself, and that it has like a specific strategic plan to start striking population centers and growing, and that there was no accident that the entire Shadowvar caves lit up with the chant around the same time that you found out you had to go there to stop it.
Okay.
Like this is a pushing back.
Okay.
And you understand like the devious nature of the music itself.
Okay.
Thanks, acid just kicked in.
Nightsteed, thank you for that donation.
Nightsteed's the best.
Nightsteed is the best. I swear you started with our show, Nightsteed, but you might have actually been on Saving Throw shows before and I didn't notice you. Let us know in the chat where you're from or something. Give us that Nightsteed factoid we've all been dying for. Toledo? That's crazy. No, I don't know. But
Wait,
also
you're in the studio with us.
but also
dun, dun.
also Nightsteed, if you can be more specific, or maybe you were, if you want to check out Wolfman, as to are these table rerolls or
There was a bit of a delay on that one.
okay?
So, I
Are
don't
they
know what that may have meant.
okay? So they're so we're gonna go and put them on the table for now. Here's some rerolls for the table. I think they might possibly be Max. I don't know, Max Shadow Wolf, but beyond that. So
Yes.
Yeah, you got
Yes.
the Shadow Wolf. So you can see like this sort of even bigger, scarier shadow version of Varya like pulls up from her fur and sort of and howls silently into the night.
Oh, is that a thing she does?
Yeah, but don't be afraid. It's mostly harmless for phoenixes.
All right, cool.
Table.
You'll notice
Thank
that-
you, Nightsteed.
Except
You
for the
hear this
several
disembodied
times where-
voice say,
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
Ink probably notices Varya like slightly uncomfortable this time.
Okay, so that
That's
was
why I
two of you,
hesitated in
so
what I
you're
said.
going to get a bunch of attacks. The Whisperer Gestalt is going to make an attack against you. Now, you drew up after your turn, yes?
I mean, we're in combat, so I only.
No,
I
you draw after you act. So when you
Okay.
have when you pass the torch on to someone, you draw,
Okay.
which
Even
basically
during
means, which is probably my favorite design aspect of this game, is the stuff you do when it's not your action burns your ability to take actions. Like if you concentrate on defending, you're spending cards you're not going to get back on your turn until after your turn, which means you don't have enough. You don't have enough time left to attack.
Yeah.
So, but you did act. So after you act, you draw up.
Okay.
And now you need to make a defense 14. This is a standard attack, which means if you can't make all 14, don't worry about it. And I'm going to remove the broken wall as the chanter, as the Whisper Gestalt is basically picking it up with telekinetics and throwing it at you. So you see like a wall segment as big as a car, like sort of tumble forward and then picked up in the air and goes right at you. And again, that is a attack 14 is your target number. Meanwhile, the chanters swarm on you.
Okay.
And they also swarm on both of you because there's enough of them right now that they can affect the entire party.
Also, people got away.
Yeah. You can not be back if you don't want to.
Oh, no.
They did get away.
I'm like, oh, yeah.
All right, so you get back. You arrive in time. This is a defense 7 because this chant mob has not yet learned your tactics.
I could do 8. See? Look. 8.
8. All right, you're fine. You slip through their fingers this time.
I can do. Do I want to use the text on this or not?
Bloop.
Have you broken sparks yet?
I dodges.
Yeah?
Okay, I'm gonna do
and
6.
counterattack.
I'm not gonna use the horrific vision
okay.
this time though.
6, you're
just gonna use
fine.
a
So
6.
1 divided by 2 is less than 1, so you take no damage from that.
Okay.
What's it going on?
Counterattacking for 7.
Thank you for
Counterattacking
Shadow
for
Wolf.
7.
That was
All right.
really helpful.
And bloop. All
it
right,
would've
so you
been one
you take
card.
1 wound level off them. They're also going to piercing whisper you, which is an attack 10, and it's a wound and an affliction if you don't defend, or sorry, if you don't get all 10. I feel like this turns out like, have you ever played XCOM? Like,
No, actually
the
I haven't.
XCOM loading screens, at least the modern one, is always like some terrible whispering thing while it shows an alien's face. So that is what happens. Like the Whisper Gestalt, which just sort of slowly rotates, like comes around such that all their eyes are looking at you, and you hear that in your head, and it's the chant, which you're very familiar with, as you've always been well touched by the chant.
Oh yeah.
Show us on your brain where the chant touched you. Generally here.
Yeah, I'm gonna Survivor and just take the affliction.
Okay, but not the damage.
And burn 2 to take that wound.
Cool.
Or suck it up.
Suck it up. All right, so you managed. Okay, that was all their attacks. You both acted. Oh, did you have your defense?
Yeah.
What you
I'm
got?
going to do something ridiculous.
Welcome to our world.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Can I play intellect on defense?
Your defense is 2 grace.
So, am I required to play that many cards? On
No,
defense?
you can play as many, up to 2, and remember you can use traits in any capacity.
Okay.
You just have to
All right.
justify them.
Well then, yeah, I'm real upset that not only was I attacked, but a lot of things came flying at me. So I'm going to use Vengeful Lightning and Vengeful.
Oh my.
Double.
Double the vengeful, double the
So
fun.
I'm going to burn 3 sparks. Immediately make an attack back on them, just to. So that'll be 5 with that. Just because I'm pissed off, and I think. Let's see. Yeah. So I burned 3 sparks. So that's 6 damage back on them, plus 5 from my immediate counterattack, and then give me the damage.
Okay. Take one more spark. If you give me one more spark, then you'll actually take a wound off them. Otherwise, you won't make enough.
Okay.
So yeah. So that
I want a wound. I don't want any defense.
yeah. I mean, otherwise that would have been a whole lot for nothing because they have an armor of 6, and then you would do it. And if you don't do all the 6 back,
Okay.
Then it doesn't. Yeah.
Got it.
So, all right, so you blast them back with fire energy and then that is a oof. All right, well, you're gonna take 3 wounds from that.
Okay. So then I get 6 sparks back. And you guys each get a spark.
Oh.
That's why I did that.
Oh,
Where
okay.
did you come from?
I got real mad. That was a sacrifice for everybody. And I
Right.
was real mad. You don't just throw shit at me.
No.
That's not how I play this game.
Would you like your cards back?
Yes, please.
Okay, so who wants the torch next? It's you two have yet to go.
Yeah. Okay. I want that steampunk rebar,
Okay.
which is really just rebar, but it's
Yeah.
steampunk. It's just, I imagine it has gears glued to it.
yeah.
There's goggles on it for some reason.
Put a gear on it.
Top hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how this is going to work with the chant. I actually haven't had this with the chant. So I have feed on fear, but they're already kind of like. So hopefully one of them tells me what they're afraid of.
Okay.
Someone else in the wing either has to burn a spark or tell me what they're afraid of.
Does anyone
They've
want
both done it, so
anyone-
I have to imagine you're gonna.
You want to burn a spark, or you want to share a fear?
Or you tell me something
Share an
you're afraid of. Because like
fear.
my character's basically so scary that like I force them to tell me something they're afraid of, and someone else just kind of like blurts out what they're afraid of.
Tell me what you're afraid of, and like someone in the background's like, I hate mice. Oh, you're not talking to me. I'm sorry. Just was so aggressive.
Suddenly Honor's like, I don't like onions.
How does something with that many layers survive? Simple is better.
So you can think about it. I'm gonna go ahead and lay down a spread, and the chanters could tell me something
Or spend a spark on not
they're
do that.
afraid of
Either is
that,
fine.
or
And are you doing chanter or whisperers?
You'd have to burn a spark to range attack the Whisperers because you can't get to them through the Chanters, or hit the Chanters.
I'll go ahead and just tear through the chanters,
Okay.
especially at the rebar, because I imagine I'm just trying to skewer as many of them as I
Sure.
can,
Okay.
making like kebabs out
Well,
of
You
them.
know what? I'm going to go ahead and add 3 to that because I'm like, Varya, do what you've always done. It's worked in the past.
Thanks, Ink, dick.
I'll go ahead and I'll call that brutal damage too because you're basically you have a you're attacking a group.
Yeah.
You're a human battering
12,
ram.
13. So that gives me
Plus 3.
so 20.
20?
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Which for
Yo.
me is
Would
actually
my
not
Vanguard
amazing.
talent apply to any damage made to the people I attacked initially with that?
Oh, you know what? We didn't use it on
attack?
yours, so let's use it here. Yeah.
Although
your-
technically after he cast that, I did psychometry, so I didn't make an attack.
That's right. So we're gonna put it on her attack, not yours.
Yeah, the
so,
next attack spread
yeah.
made against
So
the
what
victim inflicts brutal damage.
Oh, so it's already brutal. So I'll make them exposed
Okay.
for this attack.
Well, and actually, feed on fear, it makes them exposed, and I
Oh.
learned a thing they're afraid of.
Okay, so we're running out of things that it can do to them. Hold on. Let me get my book of conditions because you're.
So I
burning
want to
out-
know what they're afraid of.
All right.
And I want to know what you're afraid of.
Ooh.
I'm afraid
also
of
really
failing the
hot.
Empire a second time.
Well, that wasn't as much fun as I'd hoped.
Snakes. I meant snakes. Is that better?
Although
That's-
I think Chan still wins for my favorite ever, which was during Moonbow, and he was Puppy Eerie, and he went vacuum cleaners.
All right.
Good times.
Oh yeah, good times when everyone was a uncontrollable werewolf monster, and I was basically babysitting all of your asses.
10-1.
Vacuum cleaners are scarifying.
They are scarifying. They are
For
certainly
furry
that.
creatures. I don't know any that enjoy vacuum cleaners. So
Okay, we're gonna.
it
We're
makes
gonna.
sense.
Yeah, he was basically a puppy werewolf for part of our game. It was pretty fun.
Oh, that's adorable. That's pretty cute.
It was, and also annoying, because he was a puppy werewolf that was super fast, and I could not catch up to.
Oh.
All right, we're gonna
it's kinda
put-
like he's gonna do whatever he wants for a while.
He does that pretty much anyway, but this time he was a werewolf.
All right. So exposed, brutal, and fearer on them. We'll give them some free fire. She has like black fire flames that are made of fear. I feel like I'm 12 writing this in a journal. Black fire frames,
I
fire
don't
frames.
understand how this
Fire
wing
frames.
got such a strange reputation.
Yes. So all right. So they're on fearer, and they're exposed and brutal. What was your total?
20?
20. All right. So
It was
20.
right? I think it was 20. I put all the cards away.
Yeah, well, that's good. 20, their defense is now 1. So
Just cheat
19.
through a bunch of them. Shish kebabs.
So, yeah, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. And because it's brutal, 20. There we go. So that's a significant amount of damage to them. You get an affliction because you learn a secret about the chant.
Which is the chant. It's always the chant. Any question you ask, the answer is the chant.
Excuse me, do you have a second to talk about the chant? They
You get a bunch of pamphlets.
but you receive like a psychic burst from the Whisperer Gestalt of their fear, which is that they won't complete their mission to protect the Shadowvar.
Okay.
Ink would probably be interested in that,
Hello.
but I'm not going to tell him.
Ah, the thing. Communication is our downfall, which is my #1 phrase for D&D games and TV shows. You would not believe how like every CW show would end in 2 episodes and people would just talk to each
I
other.
know.
Jesus Christ.
So
Another
I'm
good
a vampire.
CW thing.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh shit. Well, we should plan for that.
Yeah.
Every CW show also has a thing where someone has a secret, and then for some reason all their friends give long speeches to other people about secrecy, just so they can like really twist in it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, shut up for a second, Larry. Secrecy sucks, man. Like, you should tell everyone everything. Isn't that right, Larry? You look weird, Larry. You're looking gray. Like, anyway, like, yeah.
It ruins
so-
relationships. Don't you have to go have dinner with your girlfriend?
It's totally true, though. I have not been keeping up on CW, but my husband was watching some stuff while I was reading Harry Potter for the upteenth millionth time. And I'm just like kind of catching bits of the Flash, and he's like, "Oh no, I found out that you've got this thing going on." And he's like, "You're fine. No, everything's cool." And I'm like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Yeah.
I have to recap Arrow, and every week it's that same goddamn thing. Just tell him. Just tell him.
Well, that and he was watching Legends of Tomorrow, and I saw the first
that was a
episode,
Yeah.
and then I saw whatever the most recent episode is. I'm like, "What the fuck happened?" And then I asked him like, "Where's Rory?" Meaning the actor that played Rory on Doctor Who, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Rory's blah blah blah," not knowing that there's another character that's actually named Rory in that show now. So I'm like,
Yeah.
"What is happening?" The show is
Explain, God.
insane.
Actually, the show got insane fun in season 2.
I don't
They
know.
finally figured out, like,
I
oh
don't
yeah,
know.
we have a time machine. Let's go fight dinosaurs. So
Well,
now they just go.
my
play
attention was
and
swapped
wear fun
between
clothes
It's like the
Harry
superheroes
Potter
of the show I
going
should
down the
watch.
corridor
Exactly.
of, the Department of Mysteries, and then, why are they in the Old West?
Jonah
So-
Hex. That's why.
Yeah.
Terrible makeup.
That show, I want to love it so hard. But then, of course, Captain Cold, who I thought was an abomination when he first appeared, is my favorite character. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the one character I really remembered. It's
Yeah.
like, where'd that guy go? And he's like, oh, he's not there anymore. Fuck this
Yeah,
show.
I just love it. They're like, hey, Wentworth Miller, what if Captain Cold was evil Paul Lynn? And he's like, I got it. Like,
Do that.
yeah.
Every time I talk,
Yeah.
it'll be like
So regular Paul Lynn.
Yeah. That's true. Oh, man. And there's just that, he's such a terribly delicious character. You're
And
like,
as soon as they said
That's fun,
Legion of
though.
Doom, I'm like, holy shit! You're gonna take all of these people and just let them choose scenery through all of the shows. Just like,
I'm okay with that.
yeah.
hell's
All right. There's
Solomon Grundy won't pants too.
That's a tangent for you. Okay.
Sorry, Legion of Doom is the first thing.
Meanwhile, in the Legion of Doom, that
And also the Phoenix Wing is there for some reason.
yeah. Did you ever see that Family Guy where Lois runs for office? Lois runs for office, and she
Maybe.
figures out that you can just how apropos of nowadays. You can basically control the populace by just saying 9/11 over and over again.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it
I
gets
remember.
huge
Okay, yeah.
applause. And then her opponent starts lying, so she starts lying too, and says well, I have reason to believe that my opponent is in league with terrorists and the Legion of Doom, and then a bunch of things. And then, of course, after that scene, they hard cut to the Legion of Doom, coming out of the swamp. There's also some cartoon where someone goes, meanwhile, in the Legion of Doom, and you hear, not now! And I go, I'm sorry. And it goes back down into That's also Family Guy, I think.
Probably.
Oh, man.
I
Don't
think-
recycle jokes. What are you talking
I think
about?
Yeah.
this is yours now.
Yeah, it's your torch.
Do
Good
the
job,
thing.
Varya.
What did I miss?
Varya found out Varya received a psychic burst of a fear from the chant.
Great. Great.
Go ahead, Eerie.
all right, I got 12 here. I got a heroic because I'm just going right in at the
can't avoid my
the
staring, you know
gestalt.
Okay.
And just give me the old
I'm looking at
Eerie
your
1-2
eyebrows,
special.
Okay.
I win.
All right. I will definitely allow that because you have consistently outwitted the chanters before, so I'll say you can make it there. You know your way through a chant mob.
And
Skills-
also shrug it off to get rid of this.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. All right, so how much damage was that to the Gestalt?
Eerie will never die again. He's stuck at level 5 for forever now.
12.
12. All right, there we go. Well, you guys figured out how to use your characters in the interim, and Eerie definitely has wrung every ounce of effectiveness out of the Forcefuls.
Well, I needed to level up because before it was like you could use a bunch of cards if you could draw cards, and then I finally got the ability to draw
Yeah.
cards. So
And then mine's just more, you can do more if you start dying.
Yeah, that's how it's designed.
If you're
okay.
almost dead,
So that's
you
two
will
of
be
you.
better.
So the Whisperer is going to attempt to telekinetically grab. Oh, he's going to just telekinetically grab you, Eerie. So he grabs you out of the air as you're sort of falling back from your attack, and that reduces your hands by 1 card going forward, or your spreads. And it also means that you're going to take a wound at the start of each of its turns going forward, unless you do some damage to it to sever the attack. It's also going to Piercing Whisper you, so this is a defense 10. It's an all or nothing defense, so you either have it or you don't. So if you can't make 10,
I've
don't.
burned most of my deck, so.
Well, oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
You can always, you'll shuffle back up, but yeah.
Alright.
So if you don't have a defensive 10, don't worry about it.
So should I shuffle to fill my hand back up?
Yeah,
after
yeah,
this
definitely.
action?
Yeah, and then Mike and Mac, you are going to be the subject of the Chanter Mob Bloodburst. This is an all or nothing attack.
It never comes out of fur.
This is an all or nothing attack. 12.
Technically, I'm hidden.
No, this is everyone in the scene. Well, everyone in the area that they're at. They're basically the Whisperer is forcing the the chanters to explode forcibly. So they're like running up towards where they think you are, and then exploding into a shower of like ribs and blood.
Even with Shadow Wolf, there's no way I can do a defense of 12.
Okay.
I can't.
I can do 10.
Remember
You can do-
Smash TV?
And that's not enough, though. It's all or nothing.
I know.
Do you want to try another redraw?
I don't want to use up everybody's redraws, though. That's the only thing.
If you can get
You're there
defense
for.
in there,
Right.
do it.
An extra as well.
Good. Look, I can do 14.
All right, you're fine. You dodge out of the way of a bunch of shit. You take 2 wounds and are stunned. I hope the
don't
I hope the
like
mic
that.
picked up that low growl that I could hear
I
from
certainly
across the
did,
table.
If you guys
This
need to-
mic did.
If you guys need to burn a spark, this is probably a good time to do it. I'm just gonna throw.
Well,
it
we
out.
can't burn sparks on defense spreads. That's
Yeah.
the other
Yeah.
thing.
Okay, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, otherwise, it'd be in a much better position right
Yeah.
now. I'm not built for defense, but I am built to kill things a lot.
Though I might start
Okay.
throwing some at attack spreads.
Although
I'm
I do
gonna-
get to
I'm
pick
gonna
up
burn a
2
spark
cards
too.
because of
Flip that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that mean I'm no longer hidden,
way I
by the
can
way,
actually-
Sax?
What's that?
Does that mean I'm no longer hidden?
Nope, you're still hidden. I mean, it just basically you like dodge the blood and stuff. You know, there's that like moment where they're trying to catch invisible characters in a movie where like there's like blood in the air and you're like, and so you're fine.
Speaking of which, Memoirs of an Invisible Man. Underrated classic, in my opinion.
Oh, I'm ready
Well,
for the
if
next
I
round.
can't make the all or nothing, is there
Then
any
don't
point
do
in
it.
using
And yeah, the only reason to you want that.
I'm gonna burn that. There's,
Um,
I'm just gonna eat it.
All right, so that's 1 wound, and this goes in your discard pile. But would you just
Hold on a
refresh? You're
second.
fine. You know?
Can I take that wound off of him with Death Wish?
You can't because this is a psychic attack from
Fuck.
the Whisperers, so you can't get in the way of it.
Damn it. All right, well, I still have a
It's
plan.
also fine. I need 2 sparks back, and you guys each get a spark, and I
Yeah.
get a spark.
Does anyone
for the
need a
affliction.
spark? Because I only have 1 spark in my hand.
Oh.
So I think we're all full.
I don't know, actually.
18 is where you should
I
be.
think that's mine.
Yeah. So I'm.
There you go.
Eh, whatevs.
So
Um,
everybody's full up on sparks.
Well, good. Start spending them.
Yeah.
So the way that affliction works is it's in your discard pile.
Yeah.
When you eventually shuffle it back into your deck, when you draw it again, you'll take damage and then basically have to give another affliction to one of your wingmates.
This is so vague. Suffer the consequences.
Yeah.
Like, what
Why
are
don't you
they?
put it there so they can see it? So,
This is just mean.
well, because that stands in for a lot of different afflictions that they can get.
I'm not a
Yeah.
fan of consequences. All right. Well,
All
look
right.
forward to that in a while.
Yeah, in a
though.
long time. You're fine. But they don't go away until you die, or unless someone pulls them out of your deck. So, you.
Some kick-ass art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, isn't that nice? I mean, it feels like the T-shirt's just right there. All right, so
Are we top of the round then?
yep, that's a fresh round.
Oh, go for it.
All right, Mac, what do you?
What is still up? What do we
There's
got to
an
look at?
overturned trash can.
No.
Oh.
The
Oh,
I don't care about the environmental objects anymore. What's in front of me?
there's essentially one whole chanter mob now that you've sort of weaned down. It was like a mob and a half, and you've cleaned it out. And there's a mostly not dead Whisper Gestalt.
Okay.
I'm gonna tear through probably the chanters and clear a path for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna use Ruthless
Okay.
because, well, I mean I don't think I need to explain that anymore. I am gonna take a wound though, which is gonna add another 5 to it, and it also means that all of my attacks are brutal damage right now. And then
Sounds great.
yeah, it should be fun. It's gonna be great.
Is their defense still down at 1?
No, because the round's over.
Okay, so now I have to math. So this is 10, 15,
Oh wait, they're on fire though, so they're gonna take a. They
Yep.
took a wound.
15,
Fire.
20, 27, 31.
31.
Yes.
Yikes. Okay. 31 and it's brutal damage. So
Yes, it is.
minus 3 is
It's 10.
10.
Well, 9. Sorry.
We'll do 10 though, because that was a really exceptionally destructive attack. So you almost take them all out in one giant swooth with your giant Pyrean steel claws. I feel like you have like the claws off like Warblade or whatever that. What was that? That Youngblood character back in the day. Warblade. Like this, like, you know, that real yeah, it was Rob Liefeld, was it?
No, oh yeah, Young
Or was that Lee?
Yeah. No, it was Rob.
Yeah, Rob Liefeld
Yeah.
claws were always like so visceral and yeah.
Okay.
I'm already covered
so
in blood. So.
following Varya as she carves her way neatly through the chanter mob, I kind of like bounce off corpses as they're falling, and I'm going to try and attack the Whisperer that's got Eerie, and then kind of go across the group as best I can. I'm still hidden, and I
Okay.
won't be after this. So there's +4 to begin with. There's 8. There is 13. I'm going to use Painful Truth. Use this card in an attack spread. Reveal a secret about the enemy if the GM decides that this is true. This card has a value of 6, and your enemy is stunned. So
Okay.
you're the last of your kind, aren't you?
This is the Whisperer or the Chanters?
Whisperer.
So are you attacking the Whisperer or the Chanters?
Whisperer.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, they're stunned.
Yeah.
They don't respond because they don't work like that.
Sure.
They say the chant at you,
Right.
which is what all they ever say.
The answer to everything.
Yeah, it's like Groot.
19.
If you listen, there's a very different meaning of this part of the chant.
So I'm at 19 now.
Mhm.
What would that
Nice. Well, what's the grace trait you use there? I didn't see that.
do? Just Hunter is +5.
Oh, okay, cool. 19 now. I mean, their defense is 6 and their health levels are 6s.
Okay. So
So you're looking at 2 health levels right now.
okay. I'm having a hard time mathing.
It would have to be 6 times 4. It'd have to be 24
Mhm.
to do 3 health levels.
So I'd have to burn 5 sparks for that.
Yeah.
And no one else can chip in for that right now, right?
Sure. You know what? I'm gonna do it. Fuck it. Bam.
Okay.
So there's 24.
All right. Well, I mean, hell, these are the only 5 sparks spent at the table, thanks to your spark battery here. All right, so that's 3 health levels off the Whisperer, and you can see it like it's starting. Like one of the members of the Gestalt like and like falls dead, and the other 2 like grab arms now, and they like ring around the rosying.
Kumbaya, my lord.
So that was 2 of you, yes? Okay,
Yes.
so the Chanters can. The Chanters are down to so little numbers, basically, that they can only attack one of you, and they're going to attack Varya. So Varya,
course they
that's
are.
an attack 8 from the Chanters.
Oh
Oh no, 9. Sorry, attack 9. But it's a standard attack, so
Okay.
don't worry about that. You're free from the Whisperer's telekinetic grab because he cut you off. But they are going to try and piercing whisper you, Ink.
Okay.
That's a attack 10, and they're going to try and telekinetically slam Eerie because you got away. This is an
Alright,
attack
is-
14
Is superhuman reflexes going to help me at all here?
against the Chanter mob. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I can do
Because
7.
right now it's 1 unless you call it otherwise. So.
Yeah, I'll increase that one.
Okay.
7 against 10. It's all or nothing. I'd save it.
Okay.
All right. So I've got superhuman reflexes and then another 2 here.
Take a wound. What's that?
So I have superhuman reflexes and then another 2.
Okay, so this was what them. You're fine. You managed to hold them off.
Be quick enough.
Yep. They're so few and far between now that you're able to sort of get away from them as they sort of try to come together to grab you.
Okay.
And maybe like 1 or 2 get on you, but one of them alone can't really do much. So you're just sort of like carrying some like waddling.
You vicious brute!
Yeah. All right. Where are you on that defense from the telekinetic slam?
How many do I need?
It is a defense of 14, and that's the trash can. Taken off the map here.
And that's the yeah, all right.
It's not all or nothing, but
Yeah.
so
I'll take it. I got 14 here.
okay.
Small and quick. Memories of the chant. I've seen this before.
Oh yeah.
Problem is, those aren't where they're supposed to be.
What?
The feet.
Oh yeah.
Little mark.
Because yesterday there was a scary knocking, so the DM was like rapping the table hard, and all the stuff was jumping up and down.
Things moved a little bit.
Oh man.
That was pretty scary.
Yesterday's game was really good. If you get a chance to watch the
grab 'em?
VOD for Black Bag, it's so fun. It was a great game. There was a lot of terrible tentacle gooey monster fun, but also there's the moment where he wraps the table for the first time, and it's in the wide shot, but you can actually see like Megan Cave's spirit like escape her body for a second and then jump back in. Just, ah! Oh, it's great. I was, and then I told him to warn me next time he was going to do that so I could get a one shot of her, and it wasn't as good. You're never going to catch it as good. It's never as good as the first time. The drug that is. That's why their horror movie show is so fun. People getting scared is surprisingly charming.
Being on the other end is a lot more fun.
Oh, Mac.
You know I've done scare acting. It's brilliantly fun.
You know the way to all of our hearts is directly through our ribcage. So.
Oh, yes. But it's better if you approach it from underneath a little bit because otherwise you have to get through the bone and cartilage.
You can get all the other organs in there too as a bonus as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
viscera.
you might as well. You just add it up. I actually read somewhere, and I don't know if it's accurate, that stabbings by women tend to be more lethal than by men because men tend to stab down and women tend to stab up, and so you get up and into all of the vital organs.
Up in
That's
them
love.
guts.
Up in them guts. Hashtag up in them guts. That's a great statistic. I like that.
Yeah.
I have to do
makes
some
sense.
research on it, but I also don't want to because I just really love it.
Yeah, and also just keep that statistic out of the hands of terrible MRAs on the internet who will be like, "Ha now I have yet more in my douchebag arsenal."
Fuck those guys. They deserve to be stabbed upward into the ribcage.
It was true.
Someone else in the rotation.
No, you defended entirely.
Yep.
Okay, so yes, it's the two of you.
All right. I'm going to call lightning
Ooh.
and use.
Hey,
that.
Lightning, what's up?
Yeah.
How you doing?
How you doing, babe? You look great in that weird, like hip pouch.
You
I liked all three of your terrible games. I'm also going to use the mostly dead tuna
Okay. Oh, sweet.
to
Draw a card.
catch
You're gonna cook
the
it?
whispers off guard because they're like, "What is that metal man doing?" Mostly dead tuna. And just throw it at them,
This is the
and
fish
I
slapping
call
dance.
lightning down
Yeah.
using the tuna as a conductor, and hit the tuna, creating a massive shockwave among them. And call lightning also ignores their defense
Oh, nice.
because the mostly dead tuna was
No, you
just
can't
so
do
surprising.
that. What you're thinking of is a lightning cod.
I'm not gonna lie. I almost used the tuna earlier.
You're
You're mic'd.
You're
Yeah, it's
Oh, he's bowing.
I
You
just
can let
had-
him bow. You can bow with your mic on.
I'm not gonna lie. I almost used the tuna earlier with horrific vision because eating it in front of them would be pretty horrific.
Yeah. All right. So how much was the total?
It would be 12.
12. So that's 2 more wounds off there. Another of the Whisper Gestalt members falls away, and now it's just the one sort of hanging there as the lightning strikes the tuna.
As the lightning.
As
Yeah.
it does. That seems like a really weird metaphor for something. Oh, when the lightning strikes the tuna.
Yeah, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know those like things you see sold on Facebook all the time, which are like, hey, when you can't get to your phone, but you want to record something? Well, you can wear this camera that records everything around you all the time in a deeply illegal fashion, and then you can press a button and it will like capture the last few minutes. It's like a civil rights violation times a million. But if they had a version of that just recorded what I just said, only me. It just recorded the things I was saying so that when I say sentences like the lightning strikes the tuna, I can be like, no, I don't want to forget that I said that. I can add that to
needs
my
to be in
book.
there.
It's
Chat,
Sax Carr's.
add it to the quotes.
Yeah, things
add
I've
it to
said.
the quotes now. When the lightning strikes the tuna, Sax Carr.
Finally, a quote that will come up more in this show than a vote for Mac is a vote for tits on a statue.
That may have been a thing that got said. Yes.
I'm just going to go ahead and quietly take these back.
Yeah, but it is still true. Vote for Mac.
Yeah, vote for Mac. Or you're back in next week, aren't you? Or this,
Yeah, I
this
am.
Monday?
I am playing a Monday Night Dungeon fight again, and it will be apparently a Thanksgiving episode.
Oh, nice.
Because I was already in the super spoopy Halloween one.
Okay. I want to point out, by the way, chat, you can. You may have to be a Patreon member. I'm not sure, but you can make battlers. You can make combatants for Monday Night Dungeon Fight for the people in the game to play. It very rarely happens right now. It's been available for a while. They made Burgermeister Meisterburger for Dom to play. I'm just saying, Tom Lommel is not going to make a werewolf character for Mac. Tom Lommel's going to make yet another cultist, because all Tom Lommel makes are weird cultists named like C3ER.
Oh my
So
god,
if you
I
want
always
Mac-
get the worst names.
Yes.
Leakier.
If you want Mac to fight as a werewolf in Monday Night Dungeon Fight on Monday, it's going to have to come down to one of you. I don't know what
Braid,
the
I'm looking at you, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what the XP cost is or like whatever, but like it's worth it. Isn't it worth it though? It's so
Yes.
worth it. I'll honor it. Whatever the cost is, I'll I'll let that buy that many flares for our next game. I'll double your money on that one. I don't know how much it costs. Hopefully it doesn't involve having to like join the Patreon for a certain amount, because then we'll have lots of free flares. But whatever.
And then
the
Marshall
thing.
Sax. I don't know if
Yeah.
you're aware that when you tossed me that spark, you also gave sparks to the entire team.
Oh, good. Take a spark, everybody. Man, when you're charming, it's super useful. Go ahead. Even if it puts it over your amount, we'll
Okay.
take it. You're the spark battery a go-go. All right, your actions are up. There's still a couple of chanters. There's also sort of like the surrounding chanters around the Whisperer, which is immaterial. But you can definitely target them if you want, and the Whisperer itself.
All right. I got this.
Okay.
Well, he's the only one left to go with the torch anyway.
I'm going to climb up the Whisperer,
Yeah.
wrap my chain around its neck, and stare at its eyes as I strangle it to death.
I feel like we're doing a public
Does he
service
do
by
that
allowing
often?
you to let this
Fortunately
happen
so,
in this
yes.
game.
And I also believe this is not the first time that Sax has made mention of this, just in general with this
Yeah.
game.
Giving you an entertaining show and saving the world from our players and the dark thoughts in the back of their head. since
Back of our
early
heads?
Yeah. In the front of their teeth.
You should see what I've been doing in Skyrim lately. I ate like half of a village the other day.
Misspent youth is obviously in that spread because
Yeah.
this is not the first time that I've watched the light go out of somebody's eyes who
Yep.
has wronged me.
All right, so
Geralt.
what's the total there?
I mean, terrifying is the total.
That was beautiful. Terrifying
16.
squared.
16. All right. I'm going to call that brutal damage. So that is 10, which is 2 wounds. So the Whisperer is still going to get one more round on you unless you, let's see.
How much would it take to put him down?
You would need to get all the way, you need 4 more sparks.
Vanguard, successful attack. You can just add another. You can.
I think that's only once. Isn't it? What does it
When
say?
you make a successful attack, the next attack spread made against your victim in the scene inflicts brutal damage. So if he's attacking the Whisperers,
Oh, shit.
then
Yeah.
there's a bonus.
Oh, no, it's already brutal damage. And I called it brutal, so I'll make them exposed, which is still 2, which means you only need to give me 2 of these, and you're fine. So, boom, you choke out the Whisperer, and it drops.
It's like, yes, what I've always wanted.
I dreamed of this.
Harder. There are
Cheryl?
there are still a bunch of so on the chant shard, the active chant shard falls to the ground. So there are still a bunch of active chanters there. One group of them is going to attack all of you unless you're hidden. Okay, it's going to attack the 3 of you. This is only an attack of 8. Just an attack 8, and it's not an all or nothing. It's just an attack 8. And these are basically the remaining chanters that were sort of in like the cadre around this Whisperer. The other group, which has less chanters in it, like quickly scoops up the chant shard, and they're kind of stuck amongst themselves, like they're sort of suffering for the fact that there's so many chanters there, but they're trying to move through the masses and like get the shard away from you. And mind you, this is the first time you've ever seen the chanters have any
Move
recollection,
intelligently?
that or understand that what you do with chant shards. So.
Okay, so we have to defend first, and then...
Yes, you have to defend first. That's your defense, and then your turns. And it's only an attack of 8.
Only.
You should only be able to attack to 2 cards in your
2.
defense.
Then.
You can't.
Or no.
Nope. So
So
just
I'm gonna eat that.
so 6. Just do 6. It's not all or nothing.
6.
So 6, which is 1 wound.
Okay.
It's not bad. Oh, is that
you
spark
I mean,
everyone up here?
I get 2 sparks.
'Kay,
And then everybody.
Where
else
are you
gets a
via your
spark.
total? I think you're at your total,
yeah,
right?
I must be at my total.
Anyone under their total?
Yeah,
Okay.
everybody top up.
There you go. I'm just gonna give all 3 to.
This is
to
what my pain is for.
I can't defend against that.
Take.
But I do have Vengeful, so I am going to burn 2 sparks to make an attack back against them.
Go ahead. Take 2 wounds. You're gonna be breaking that vial before you know it here.
Yeah, I'm getting close to that. But right now, it's still brutal damage, so...
Okay.
You want me to go ahead and do my attack?
Yeah. Go ahead. Meanwhile, defend. You didn't get attacked because they don't know you're there.
I'm
Yeah,
going to go ahead and
defend it
use
for
Power
7.
from Pain.
Okay, you're good.
Which allows me to drop a card. So, that's going to give me... So this is 8. and then another 6, so 14.
Mhm.
And then
Chew.
Gesundheit,
Gesundheit.
18.
That was the fakest sneeze I've ever heard.
Well, I didn't want to sneeze
No one
all over
pronounces
everybody.
a chew.
Chew.
That shoot.
25.
Whoa, okay.
Brutal damage.
25 brutal damage.
Next time
Let's
I'll
see.
sneeze on you. I promise.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
3, 6, 9, 12,
Back to more gold
15.
medicine.
I don't have any more with me, which is why I'm dragging now. It's okay.
24. Boom. That was almost half of that, like, Chant Kadra's life right
Yeah,
there.
I'm out of cards now.
Okay, boom. So you
Although I don't-
destroy them for the wounds you've taken. You're all fine. It's back to the top of the round. So anyone, and Mike's on it.
My goal is to slaughter the rest of them and try and get that damn shard. So since I'm hidden, that's 4 right there.
Mhm.
There's 7.
Do you want to guarantee
Oh, wait.
damage?
I get to
Sure.
draw back up to my limit.
Okay. So then I am going to play Hunter and
Oh, wait.
Intellect.
What you're saying is you're going
Yes.
before me.
I'm going
Okay.
to run Vanguard
Gotcha,
to guarantee brutal
gotcha.
damage. So I'm going to run Vanguard. I'm going to play the smartest person in the room just because I need to use
That
that
needs to be a
intellect.
skill spread, though.
So
That's-
play
I
it as-
know, I'm going to
Oh,
take
okay,
it back
gotcha,
in a second.
gotcha.
I'm just announcing to the
Oh,
ether.
yeah, yes, yes.
And so this goes to that's 5, 6, 8, 9, so 11
Okay.
all told on that attack.
Okay.
11.
11. Let's see here. Their defense. Oh, you know what? They're still on fire, by the way, too. So we're gonna. They're Fearer.
Fearer.
How do you spell Fearer? Because I want to get a Fearer shirt and have you like, what is that? Is that a skateboarding?
I like it Fearer. Fearer.
Yeah.
Führer. See, unfortunately, it sounds a lot like Führer to me.
Yeah, it's why you have to spell it out.
Yeah.
Fearer,
Maybe there
not
must be like a
Fearer.
Y in there somewhere.
yeah.
F-E-A-R-Y-E-R?
Furier?
F-Y.
You already got some Furier on you.
Yeah.
Look out! Don't get any
Yeah,
of the
the
Furier
Furier.
on you from the Fury.
Hefty, hefty.
English
All right.
majors in the chat, tell us how to spell that.
Yes.
And so 11 all told on that attack. And then
Okay.
the next attack
He's
towards
brutal.
them will be brutal.
Awesome.
So 3. So that is 3, 6. It's just 2 wounds there. Okay, go ahead, Mike. So there's the big crowd and there's a small crowd.
Okay, I'm going to go for the big crowd.
Okay.
So
big
there's
spoon and little
4, 8, 11.
Uh-huh.
Then because I'm hidden, I can do another one.
Yep.
So there's 14.
Gotcha.
That's it. And I'm no longer hidden, but yeah, 14.
14
Brutal damage.
14 brutal damage. Let's see. That is minus 3 is 11. Doop. Almost down. That's both of you. Okay, so the two that like there's 2. It's I guess 2 health levels worth of chanters is probably like 4 or 5 people. The 4 or 5 that are all like sort of like clutching, like taking turns for like holding in the chant shard, have broken free, but they're not fast. So they're sort of heading off towards, like away from you as best they can. So they're not going to attack this turn. The other ones, you've reduced their numbers to the point where they can only attack one person. You're attacking with fire. You're in them, so you're going to take this attack. This is an attack 9.
Okay, give me a sec. Just prepping myself for the next draw. Attack 9. Fresher. I can do 4.
4?
Yeah.
2 wounds.
Okay.
Because that's, it's 5 left times 2. Okay, so go ahead, Mr. Chan.
The fellas that think they're getting away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to dart off to the side of them. I'm going to start chanting the chant over there to make them get them think that we're supposed to be going this way. And then dart over to the other side
Alright.
of them and tell them again.
Take that. You're invisible to them now, so you can be hidden for the rest of the scene.
And just sort of like dragging them around in a circle, and then I'm just going to whip up behind them and just jab my hook into their hamstrings and just sort of like rip their legs out.
Okay,
As one does.
do it.
As
do it,
many
do it.
times as possible. I got a 6. I got a 8.
You just need
I
one
got,
more.
7.
That's it. You run out of wounds to do them.
God damn it. Get back up. I'm not done with you yet.
Cowards!
He's just stabbing them after they're already
All
down.
right, the chant shard is there. You can interact with it on your next turn. All right, and so there's the big mob left, and Mac. Go for it.
Let's see. What do I want to do?
I'll disclose there is 12 hit points, if you will, 12 because you're going to do brutal damage, so it doesn't matter whether you get the total numbers. After the defensive 3, there's 12 points to cut through. So basically, if you can do 15, you've got
So
them.
that's 5 plus, so 9, 16. That's all I have to play is that one card.
All right, it's good to be the bitter. All right, so yes, what does that look like? Let's say that that's like 15 people and they're kind of spread out. What is this? What does Atmos see?
I have to
Just walks
imagine.
up and just like squish.
I have to imagine she just leaps into them, and it's just teeth and claws, and almost more fury than the eye can really follow. And she's just tearing into everything around her.
I want to keep your character so visceral and classy, but the way you described that, you were the Tasmanian Devil for a hot second.
It was not the Tasmanian Devil, but it's seriously
Yeah.
as they come, she's just tearing
All
through
right.
them and
She did use crude but effective.
Yeah,
right
that's
through
true, yeah.
right through necks. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole 9.
All right, so you see, you understand now
Viscera
why.
flying around.
Yeah.
I have to
There's
imagine at
blood
this point
beating
she's
on my
also on
metallic
all
skin.
4s, so she's
Yeah.
actually leaping on all 4s and tearing people apart.
And you're real wounded, so you're super big and
And
you know.
horrifying and
yeah.
the worst. One card went through 15 people.
And
Yep.
over in the corner, there's a 9-year-old stabbing dead bodies.
I'm usually fairly certain that we're the good guys.
You have to understand, the chant doesn't operate like normal opponents do.
All right, so you still have a chant shard here.
All right.
How many?
Have we figured out a way to deal with this without burning somebody out?
You can.
It's a collective.
The spark numbers collectively are not that bad. Let me find out here.
And we have a lot of sparks.
Yeah.
No.
Let's see.
On top of the sun chips.
Oh. I'm kind of mic'd in.
Oh, thank you, Wolfman.
Thank you.
Okay, let's.
that's-
I feel like you should howl every time you get a call out.
Don't spend it all in one place.
Stunning the
I'd like to hear
chant,
that.
Cleansing a shard. He'll howl next time. You gotta make it wait for it. 25 total sparks. So, and yeah, you've been needing to burn out because that adds 10. So between the 4 of you, you just need to throw 25 sparks at it.
How many of these motherfuckers are we gonna have to take care of this?
Mike,
this
right by your foot.
There might be another
Though.
shard in this session, or maybe not.
Are we headed to the mother load of
We're
Shroud?
going down.
Yeah, essentially.
Because I
I'm
kind of
happy to
feel like
burn
that's
8.
something that's going to take some doing.
I'm happy to burn
Well,
8.
I got 7.
Here's 10.
For reals though, is
Yeah.
there
Hold
not
on.
a
There
better
may be
way that
more.
we have figured out yet?
What is the best division? 25
Smart
divided by
guy.
4?
Basically 6 each.
Like,
Okay.
I feel like Arcane could maybe do, but
Yeah.
the hand that I have.
Are
is
we
not
wanting
gonna
to do
this.
6
I
each,
could
or are we going to share it
attempt
between us
redraw.
then?
Have
Yeah.
we not figured out a better way to do this?
No.
We've been dealing with this for the entire campaign.
The only thing that's going to negate the energy in these chant shards is our Phoenix energy. I'm sorry, Ink. Sorry, Ink.
It's okay.
And so we previously,
gotten real
you
weird
guys
now.
as a wing have encounred these shards and
Yes,
Yeah.
it's cost
A
some of
lot
us
of
our
time.
lives.
checks against.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we want to throw
Well,
in
okay.
6 each, then
I'll
let's
say
throw in
this:
6
you're
each.
not going to find an answer to that question now. But if you want to put your task yourself or Ink towards that goal, maybe there is an answer to this. Maybe there is, Keith Baker. Going to be expect an email.
All right, so I'll put in 7. How's
Okay.
that? Is that okay?
So 7 plus
I'm burning 8.
8.
It's 6.
How many?
So
we
we
need?
need 2 from you, I think.
45 altogether.
All right. So is that 25? Don't give me too much.
Yeah, unless somebody wants to throw in more, because then
Uh-huh.
if I do die, I get to be an undead monster for a while, which is pretty fun.
It's truth.
Oh, we need 3 actually.
All right. So you burn that out. So here's what's going to happen. Any of the remaining members of this particular chanter mob that happen to have wandered off all drop. The city is basically free of the chant. as much as there may be other chant mobs like in the caves. You can all remove 1 affliction from your deck. So if you have more than 1 affliction, you're going to still have one in your
What kind of asshole has more than 1 affliction in his deck?
All right. Any of you have more than 1?
I do.
All right, yeah. So you're still going to be occasionally dealing with that unless you cleanse that out somehow.
Okay, so I'm trying to fuse the shards that we've got into the tablet that I've...
It snaps right in once you clean it out.
Okay.
And it's sort of... And it's now definitely like the lower part of a tablet written in Pyrean.
Okay.
All right. And now that we've got a minute of downtime, because you'll be interested, when I attack the Whisperer mob, there was a flash. They're trying to protect the Shadowvar. They're afraid that they're not going to be able to.
Told you we should have burned this place to the ground.
We still can.
They're actually trying to protect it.
So here is a question. Would you like to spend a few days here in the mouth helping the Imperial Guard like move the battlements up to the cave mouth so that you can basically reclaim as much of the city as you can? In that case, you'll also heal 2 days worth of healing.
Do we have the time for that?
Well,
There's always time to improve the bulwark and move it closer to the mouth.
You haven't dealt with the chant. You don't understand
but
what
if
we're
what
up
the Whisperers
against.
are saying is true, whatever is in there is working its way outward, so we need to make sure that the Empire is as fortified as possible at this point before we go further. We need to essentially close it off behind us, I feel.
Yeah, I agree, and we can take some of the city back. There are survivors
Fine.
here.
Varya, I don't like it either.
Hey, what's that tablet say?
I'm going to spend a few days working on the tablet.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. All right, so everyone heals. You
Drink
basically-
your Ovaltine.
yeah. Everyone heals 2 wounds in 2 days.
And we're sparked back up,
And
right?
you basically takes all your sparks back up because you get so many every day. Yeah, you keep those.
Yeah, dirt.
And I'll say that once it's reported back through the candle code, that or once messengers head back, they send a small, like a young wing. There's a lot more young wings around now than there were before because a lot of older wings are dying on the fronts. So like a lot of rank 1 and rank 2 wings are sort of kicking around.
So Bobcat Goldthwait wing shows up?
Yeah. Hey, where's
you guys are phoenixes!
I killed them all. All that entire wing gone.
Then they just become Gilbert Gottfried wings. They
Yeah.
can't make it better.
And then they're the Charlie Day wing.
Bobcat Goldthwait still does stand up, and it's actually quite good in a weird way.
All
but
I want in my life is to sit in a room listening to him and Charlie Day having a conversation, though.
Well, he actually talked to Bob Goldthwait.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk like that in
Right.
real life. Yeah.
I know, but I still want to
Yeah,
have. I want to
sure.
hear them doing.
Neither does
their
Gilbert
things.
Godfrey, by the way. Gilbert Godfrey's
Yeah.
doing a character, but he just
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
lives it.
Actually,
Yeah.
Bobcat Goldthwait complimented me on a shirt once, and he was trying to get into conversation with me about music, and I couldn't. I couldn't brain. I was just like, that record's good. Yeah.
He starts out his routine being like, "Hi everybody, like I'm the what blah blah blah," and he's like, "Oh wait, you're expecting this to be this the whole time? Well, that's too difficult." And like just admits that that's not what he does. Oh, it's kind of worth it.
Okay.
Apparently, Xenar Faith is working his hardest to make a werewolf character for Monday Night Dungeon Fight.
Thanks, Interface.
Xenar,
That is the Thanksgiving wish that I have
Yes.
for this year.
that's what she's thankful for.
Is
Branding.
werewolfness.
Xenar, whisper me at Sax Carr, SAXCARR, and I will try and connect you with Tom so that if you have any character creation questions, he can guide you through it, because maybe he'll be able to help you with that. All right, so I'm going to 10-1 for a second, but so this is what happens while you manage to move the walls essentially to the cave mouth inside the city, which essentially allows most of the city to be reclaimed. There are innocents there that you do reclaim and that you do save. Any of the ones that are any able-bodied person, regardless of gender, who is chant immune, who has been exposed to the chant and is not deaf, and survived is instantly press ganged into the military at this point. And they're almost all of them are cool with it because they've seen their fellows die.
Right.
But they join anti-chant battalion, or they go off to train in that sense. One of the commanders says something to the effect of, they actually hope you guys solve the chant before any of these people get out of the academy. Like, they'd rather not have to put these people in the field. You also save a lot of other innocents who immediately become refugees and head off to other places. The city is basically occupied by a military force temporarily while there's still an active chant issue here, including a young wing that comes in, and that wing has a devoted, and that devoted removes 1 wound from all of you. So you take that.
That was sweet.
Yep.
Bye, brutal damage.
You'll get it back soon. You're you.
I know.
And also, this turned over your thing. You can just basically snap your bones.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
And get it right back.
Yeah.
So close.
I actually think it seems like we went with that sort of you'd deliberately allow yourself to bust out a bit. You could also do that probably my second favorite werewolf transformation where you're like, oh, my skin, blah, it's gone now. And I always enjoy those.
Yeah, except that she doesn't have that anymore.
Yeah, that's true. There's nowhere to go.
She peels off her wolf face to reveal another
Another
wolf
wolf
face.
That's
It was a werewolf all along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They try and it's a Scooby-Doo gang trying to pull off the mask, but there's no fucking mask. Stop tugging on the fur!
All right, so let's do plugs now. Plugs, or if anyone wants to go through what's coming up in the calendar for Saving Throw Show, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
I just ran across an article that was some writer is rereading Dune. They're going to write every, several chapters or whatever. I was like, you know what, I got a bunch of shit to do right now, but I would really like to reread that series again.
Yeah.
That is a really fantastic series, and a lot of people bail after the first one because it is pretty dense. It's amazing, but it's also dense. And a lot of people bail after the second one because they're like, I want to find out about Paul Atreides. He's gone?
Yeah.
The other 4 books have nothing to do with him? Fuck this.
Second one's Dune Messiah, right?
Yep.
And then
Children of Dune,
Chapter
God
House
Emperor of
Dune.
Doom.
Oh, God Emperor, right.
Chapter House.
And then Frank Herbert's son wrote a bunch, which are like
No,
prequels,
I
didn't he?
don't. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, no, that didn't
There are
happen.
6 Dune books.
There's 6 Dune books.
that sadly cut off just before they're about
Just
to
like
do some other shit.
as we established in Masks, the game before this, Heroes only had 1.5 seasons, and that was all that ever happened with that show.
In my
4
mind,
seasons of,
Heroes had no seasons.
West Wing.
Because I tried to watch it and I couldn't do it.
I don't
I
know, it
couldn't
really
get into
spoke
it.
to me at that time.
Once we
Josh
got
over
into
Carnival showed
the
up, it just
Oh, I didn't
was
even
a
see
whole
that
different-
season.
once
Yeah,
we
it's
got
not
to
a
the
show.
cheerleader being completely autopsied for a head wound, I'm like, I'm done here.
Sure.
It was just like, you guys know no, fuck you.
Heroes had half a season.
Sure.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
I mean, I still like to do the other part.
Beautiful half a season.
No, I haven't actually read Dune. I watched the film once, but I haven't.
Right.
It's not one I've sat
It's
and read
good.
yet.
It's dense as hell, but it's
Yeah.
it's really, really beautiful.
And I love stuff like that. I'm just with everything going on lately. I've really dove right back into rereading the Harry Potter books, which seems really just it's the perfect time to be reading them.
Dune is kind of that for me. I think that's become my my sort of comfort.
Yeah.
Go back to reread.
What
And
do you think about the TV series?
I
the
never
sci-fi
watched
series.
it.
I saw the first one. I didn't see the second one.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
I've heard that there are that has things to recommend it, pieces. Kind of like Dune. Dune is David Lynch's Dune is literally my favorite movie of all time. It is not the best movie of all time.
But that's
There's a lot of
okay.
problems with it.
Yeah.
You
but
can
it's still,
love a movie that's not perfect, and I try to
Yeah.
remind people of that. My favorite film is the 1941 Wolfman. There are problems in that film. He's a super fucking creeper in the beginning of that film. I fucking love that movie though. Like you can love things even if they're not perfect though. Otherwise, no one would like anyone in this world.
Sure. And to yes, and both seminal works of science fiction that have gone on to influence generations of people and revisiting things that are good in these trying times. I'm sure we've all seen the trailers for Luc Besson's Valerian.
I actually
have
saw
not
it for
yet.
the first time today because it played before Fantastic Beasts.
It's a return to sci-fi for him. I don't know the guy who's playing the title character, but
He didn't look familiar.
Cara Delevingne, whoever played Enchantress in Suicide Squad, but she's done other much better things. Valerian was published in France in the late 60s and early 70s, is one of the seminal works of sort of space opera fiction
Yeah.
that another franchise borrowed a lot of things from that might seem familiar to you. But I think it's published by Humanoids Publishing in the United States, which also gives us The Meta Barons by Alejandro Jodorowsky, a bunch of heavy metal stuff, and it's really, really good. And if the movie is half as good as the comic, it's going to be great.
Well,
It looked interesting.
Yeah, it's Luc Besson, so it's
Yeah.
going to look great no matter what.
Sounds like a lot of the generative material for Fifth Element.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
I'm into
Well,
it.
and speaking of movies, I did go and see Fantastic Beasts today,
Sure.
which, full disclosure, I hate the Harry Potter movies. I
Yeah.
rewatch them because sometimes I feel like
one
I just
hates
really
them.
want to feel
They're
like I'm in that world.
inadequate, but-
No, I love
Okay,
I love
yeah.
the books.
I think
really
they're all inadequate.
I love
hate
the
them, they're
books.
just stupid.
Yeah.
I think that the movies are flat and they're missing. They don't have the heart to them that I
Yeah.
want.
The thing that makes Harry Potter great is it's fucking funny, and none of that humor translates to the.
It just doesn't work, and they spend a lot of time on things that are like, look what we can do in CG, but not actually do any character development. They have time to do more with
Yeah.
the story, but they spend a lot. Like Harry's flying over the castle on a dragon in a scene that didn't actually happen in the books because it's really fucking pretty. However,
Sorry, go ahead.
I did see Fantastic Beasts, which was a clean slate thing because it was not based on the books, and it's not perfect, but it was really fun. And so this might actually be a series of films within that universe that I don't rage watch because I keep rewatching the Harry Potter movies because I'll go to Universal and be like, I could use some more magic in my life. I need some more fucking magic. I don't want to read the entire book right now, so I guess I'll watch this movie and yell at it because it's stupid.
Have you watched Jonathan Strange, Mr. Norrell?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I have. I've only seen the first couple episodes and like it.
I really enjoyed it. We kind of binge watched it.
My
Sounds like-
favorite scene in the entire Harry Potter film franchise, try saying that 5 times fast, is the Weird Sisters, and that's only because it's Jarvis Cocker from Pulp,
Yeah.
a couple of dudes from Radiohead, one of the guys from like the Psychedelic Furs, and it's just like the Britpop supergroup who are also
Well, that's Yule
Yeah.
Ball, so that's the fourth one. That's Goblet of Fire,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is one of the weakest of the films, but it's also a huge book. Like
Oh, yeah.
I'm
That was the
rereading,
last of
I'm
the
rereading
series
Order of
that
the
I read.
Phoenix right now, which is the longest book in the entire series, and that movie is one of the shorter ones, which is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that kills me, and a lot of people love it, is the third film. They love Prisoner of Azkaban. That's my favorite book for a lot of reasons, including Lupin, werewolf. Duh. I know, right? But like that
Also
movie
David
makes
Hewlett
me
is
absolutely crazy.
Absolutely.
That one makes me nuts. Plus, I hate the effects. Like
Knox
I
Harrington.
I'm sort of a werewolf effects connoisseur, and that is like what happened here. It is a cracked out Chihuahua on steroids. Like in the book and in the thing, they're like, how can you tell the difference between a real wolf and a werewolf? And it's like there's very small differences. You could get these things confused. When you watch the movie, you're like, there is no way you would see that coming out, and you'd be like, it's just a wolf. it's just a run of the mill wolf. Everything's cool here.
Here, boy. Here, boy.
It's like, what is that? It's no.
You want to get something in real quick before we
The end.
jump back into the game? Sorry.
Yeah, I assume that the folks watching are lovers of media and consuming it.
We would hope so, yes.
So just real quick, I've been playing Dishonored 2.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I
and
haven't played
it's
those games
basically
yet. I've heard
like
they're
a
good.
supernatural stealth puzzle game. So if you like sneaking around the shadows and ripping people apart as a shadow,
All right, I'm gonna get on Amazon and order this right now.
I played
That's on
Dishonored
Steam,
1.
yeah.
Dishonored 1 is so fun, and I loved
Yeah.
it. But I got it on like the PlayStation Network or something, and I haven't gone out and bought this one yet. I actually think I might do it next week because it was so like Corvo, because Corvo is the name.
Corvo, yeah,
Corvo
Corvo
is
Tano.
the
Jose
Corvo
Cuervo?
Tano. Yeah, Jose
you
Corvo.
can stop time, fire crossbolts at people's faces, walk away, and start time again.
Okay, you've sold me on this in a way that no one has so far.
But
It's real cool.
the
They call it whale punk. Is there like things in the universe are powered by like
Whale
whale
oil.
which is this glowing blue material.
I can get behind that.
it's a beautiful universe.
dystopian
Which
Victorian.
is also the kind of music that the Decemberists play.
Yes.
whale punk.
I am a whale oil power punk, I guess. I'm actually I'm like I can't decide whether I
have a
want to.
PS4?
Well, yeah, I do. Yeah, I
I'll
can't
just
decide.
lend you my copy.
Oh,
It's fine.
thanks.
Yeah.
I can't
I'm,
decide.
I'm 1.5 times through.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit. I can't decide whether I want to go through as Corvo or as the princess, like, because I love Corvo and I love his mechanics, and I got used to it, like how I was playing it before, and I had
Yeah.
like my little tricks,
Right.
Yeah, time stop's definitely useful.
We
or
can
like,
chat about
yeah.
their skill sets over beers
Yeah,
later.
but then the princess is the princess, and I think that I also love a female main character in any game.
Yes.
Yeah, so
she's a bit more of a brawler, which is fascinating.
interesting.
I love brawler characters. I'm sure you're super surprised by that.
Yeah.
I just been so caught up in playing Skyrim again. and the mods and eating people.
I love
on bad
sniper
days.
characters, but I feel like playing things like Counter-Strike just ruin that for you, because like if you can't shoot some stranger from across the world in a millisecond, like everyone calls you fake and gay. You know what I mean?
My first
and I'm
time-
like, hey, half of that offends me.
First time playing Skyrim, I was actually doing more sniper stuff with the bow and arrows. This time, not so much.
You getting in there?
Yeah.
Well, because it's on the Xbox One and it's the re-release, I've been able to put in the mods. So before, like, the werewolf powers kind of sucked. It's like you could transform, but then you probably get your ass beat by everything. And so I have it so I can transform anytime I want, and I'm not quite as squishy. So when I have a bad day, or just any day, I plug it in and go in werewolf mode, and I like ate half a village last time.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll make one plug on the way out the door here, because we'll play some more and then we'll do a fast out. Basically, but I have been playing Guns of Icarus Online, and I highly recommend it. I'm actually going to build an RPG burn of it so that we can do a little RPG version of it somewhere on this show for a special event. But it's basically, a world that fell in love with steampunk airships, and in the game, I mean, how can you not have made a game about this? You're all the crew of one of those airships, and someone's the pilot, and there are people running around like operating the guns, and you have to you hit mechanics with hammers to heal them, and it's a really fun game. It's a surprisingly small player base though for an online game, for a Momorpaga or whatever it is. They just created a player versus PvE version as opposed to just being constantly player versus player battles. That's much more fun. And there's all kinds of cool airships. I do have like a ship that looks very Phoenix-like called the Dawn Command, which is gorgeous.
Thematically appropriate.
Although I know you guys already know this, but my character right now in Skyrim, I built out Varya in my game of Skyrim. It's the only time I've ever rolled up a human character in a video game that gave me options outside of human.
Nice.
But just so I could build out Varya.
I do think that I don't know, there's something that feels like that wonderful feeling you have when you first start playing D&D or whatever, and you fall in love with your character, and your character becomes everything. And I think there are a lot of you out there who may just be using their one of their first D&D characters' names as your screen name.
Mine was Conan.
Yeah. My name in so many things is Sergularius, which is actually like a reference to the Roman Orthodox Church. Yeah, thank you. But I just found that name awesome, and I named a character that and fell in love with it. And so, yep. Go ahead.
Have you read Girl Genius by Phil and Kaya Fuller?
I've read parts of it, or I've seen parts of it.
Oh, I love that show. It's such a fantastic series.
Remember that show, Sweet Genius? Sorry.
How about the movie Real Genius? All right, so
Wait, and then Arrival. Just go see
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Oh, sure.
It's fucking
I keep
great.
hearing
Just
it's
go see
amazing.
it. It's beautiful. It's spare. My loved ones hated me when I was talking about the special effects, but it's not about the effects. It's about the things that happen and the message, and it's very apropos for the times. So just go watch a beautiful movie.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I hear that's one of the things where it's just a good movie. On top of the fact that it has a lot of really good shit going for it, it's just good filmmaking. You know what else is surprisingly good filmmaking? Tommy Boy. I don't know why. I was on in a barber shop and I watched it and I was like, "Fuck, this is a competent film." I remember as a kid loving all the jokes, but it's actually a well constructed. They don't make films that good anymore. That's sad. If
that the
Tommy
one with
Boy
the
is a
deer?
benchmark,
Or is that
yes,
Black Sheep?
that is the one with the deer.
Okay,
Although
The
he-
fact that you're calling it a film is a little mind-boggling right this
they
second.
shot it on film, Mike. It's film.
Film is a value judgment. It's like
technically
what
a
graphic
film.
novel
Yeah.
used to mean.
Shut up, Ink.
Yeah. All right. I thought I'm.
Prince is dead.
I'll stand by that movie.
All right.
Ink, no.
All right. So.
Nah. Ink on cold medicine.
No, sorry,
sucks.
loud. Okay, so after a few days of putting things together, you managed to. Oh, sorry. What is your character for next season called?
Vigil.
Vigil. Okay. The devoted who healed you all is Vigil, because I just realized that sparks up for grabs. So. Yeah, and this is, and you don't really know or understand, that Vigil doesn't really know, and we don't know what Vigil looks like because I'm not going to make you do character creation right
Good,
at the table.
because I don't have anything.
But but that character doesn't really truly understand that they have the spark that's part of your wing yet. They're still sort of forming themselves, and that innate drive to rejoin the wing is sort of suppressed by the fact that there's such a difference in rank. They don't want to make you put yourself in danger. So you're just hanging out with a bunch of sort of unassigned phoenixes in like an ad hoc wing, and this is just a little moment where you get to have interacted with the characters. So if you want to take that into your history, Vigil was here at the Battle of the Mouth.
Spray paint on the side.
Yes.
Vigil.
The battle against tonsillitis. Right?
We make holes in teeth.
Cool.
Okay, so
Reading a book.
they've created a pretty innovative, actually, with one of the other phoenixes in that are here. Help while you were busy studying, and we'll deal with that next session.
Okay.
And while all of you were busy doing what you're doing, I don't know, stalking deer in the woods or whatever Varya does in her time off, you
Chasing James Spader shirtlessly through the woods.
why?
Sorry.
But also yes.
Blacklist.
But of course.
Wolf. Remember?
Yeah, I saw that,
Okay.
but he wasn't shirtless at any point, and it's like don't make me recap the movie.
All right.
please.
Moving on. Carefully withdrawn.
But you two, get your hashtags ready, shippers. All right, so the
Varya has again stopped by to talk to you, but you're busy with your nose in
No,
a fucking
you know what?
book.
Just poke him on the shoulder, but let's let Sax.
No.
we can have this. We can do this.
No, because that's not how Varya works. You got your nose in a book, she's walking away.
Oh wow. She is.
Thanks, Gaston.
Like
no, I
many
guess if you
animals
were
I
Gaston,
know-
you would physically pull my nose out of the book, wouldn't you?
Probably.
All right,
Yes.
so you, they've erected essentially a like soundproof wall to cap this. It's a reinforced battlement, but it has like a wood and fabric structure that's essentially like what you might imagine in like a VO booth. They've essentially ad hoc made it in a steampunk way, and they basically capped it because and there's little like eye slits with like frosted glass, sort of like armored glass, and they point out that every few days, a chant mob will make a run at the door. Sometimes a whisperer will show up and throw rocks at it for a while, but they've managed to hold the wall. But
Adorable.
for the last few hours, it's been relatively clear, and so they unbolt it and open a big hatch. And it has like the foam door, like covering on the edges of the door where it makes this air seal, and they say, okay, yeah.
That was bad, but you know what I'm going
Yeah,
for. Yeah.
no, it was actually really close.
Okay.
In this room anyway, folks, if it didn't sound like that at home. And they push you. They like sort of, allow you to walk through. And unless anyone has any business to do here in the mouth, they're going to send you into the caves.
I'm good not doing any business.
No, this is a party mouth. Party and everything.
I'm good, Sax. Thank
I
you.
think Fuckwad might be away from his computer. Maybe that won't become a quote. It will. We're going to have like 300 quotes and none of them flattering.
Like the other 300 quotes, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Could I put a pause on this
Yes.
and throw a skill spread using my Vanguard talent and my knowledge of discourse in the Empire, having noticed that Ink and Varya seem to have a little bit of a weird tension going on, and I don't want to go down the mouth with two of my team members at odds.
You don't want tension in the mouth when you're
So yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
go deep.
Or
So-
Discord. You don't want tension or Discord in the mouth.
So I'm just gonna be real inappropriate and tell these two to get into a room, and that's gonna be a 22.
Jesus Christ.
is that an opposed?
You're telling us to leave the mouth and get into a room. What does that even mean?
So you're basically telling him to have it out. Or
Eerie and
have
I
a
are
moment.
gonna hang out by the gate while you guys work out whatever this weird shit is, okay? Because I
Nobody
am not.
explained to you what happened the last time they were locked in the room together.
Okay, we're not gonna hang out by the gate. We're gonna hang out relatively close to the room in case things start like arms
Oh
start
no, I'm
coming out.
gonna be right there because this is gonna be hilarious.
All right, so I'm going to say I'm not going to let you guys defend against that. It's 22. And also it's in keeping with the kind of plot that I want. And I'm going to try and hurry up here so that you are able to get at least some RP together before someone manages to put $8 together to ruin this moment. All right, so have a bit of a scene, and I will not look at my screen for a second. Anyway.
All right, you've been lurking around. You've been wanting to say something. Please, for the love of the wing and everything that is good, say it.
You make it sound like I'm being some kind of problem. You've been too busy with your nose in a fucking book to talk to me.
I've been trying to save the world, damn it.
Yeah, I'm trying not to tear it apart.
I'm not worried about that. Honestly, I think your brutality is going to save us in the end.
Well, you
need not
should
afraid
be
of it.
worried about it. I've gone nuts 3 times in Pyre, and I've torn apart other phoenixes. It's a fucking problem, and it's only getting worse.
And yet you still stand here. If you were truly a problem, don't you think they would have ended you by now?
You know, we might be getting to that point.
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say?
I don't know anymore, but I might get to a point where I'm going to have to be taken out, and it might be the Wing's responsibility to do it.
And if that comes to it... and if it comes to that, I'll make you a promise. I'll be the one to end you. What do you say to that?
I hope Eerie dies first.
Believe me, on a number of levels, as do I.
I just want you to know that.
You exist with a level of passion that I have never been able to match as a mortal or as a phoenix, and I envy that of you.
It's a bad kind.
Would you rather drift through life analytically, trying to find the binds that hold us together, and not just experience the moment? Believe me.
Are you trying to say you're the problem?
No. I'm just asking for a dose
No,
of
I'm done.
perspective.
I'm done. We're done here. I'm not talking to you anymore. Let's just go fucking take care of business as we always do.
Let's fucking take care of business.
I'm going to say that states your concerns.
Well, that was a mistake. To the mouth.
To the mouth cave.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for that scene. That was amazing. We managed to get through it.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much.
For Christmas, I'm buying myself a sample pad that I will use for my games, and I cannot wait. It's just so useful. All right, so they bring you back to the door. By the way, I will definitely say that your devoted also heard that like parts of that fight through a wall, in case that's useful for later. Anyway, they bring you back to the door. They unseal it. They push you. They put you all back out. They seal it on the other side, and it's it's between you and the chant now, and they sort of seal it off behind you.
Great, we're sealed in the mouth.
So you're leaving the mouth. You're heading, yeah. Thankfully, the fine folks in this world have not actually decided, because that you start at the mouth, to label every part of this after the body. Just the mouth. This is just a cave now.
Now we're in the
labels.
esophagus.
Sorry, I'm picturing the episode of Futurama where Fry eats the rotten egg that gives him the worms that make him really smart.
Yeah, no, it's a sandwich.
Sandwich. But
Yeah,
but
it was
the
like
worms
it was,
are-
yeah, it was like an egg salad sandwich
yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
And that's what I'm picturing. So thanks. Yeah, let's all roll with that.
So you're heading into the cave. Cave.
Cave.
All right. And you.
What part of the cave are we entering?
the entry.
You available next week? Just gonna put it out there.
I feel like it should just be you guys.
Okay.
Look,
so
we're putting things in the mouth, okay?
yeah. All right. So
Let's all get in the mouth.
Enough.
Come on, let's go.
I'm gonna punt it out for the next 30 minutes, and then this episode will be over. Okay.
You killed Wolfman.
Oh no.
No, please somebody just make Varya go nuts and kill everyone in the mouth.
Nope. Not gonna bite. All right. So.
Oh, which is funny because you're in the mouth.
Yeah. I saw that one coming as I said it. I'm like, oh, that's a mistake. Gone too far, Zax. All right, so.
Too far into the mouth?
I can't.
Worth it. I
Ladies and
regret
gentlemen,
nothing.
this has been Phoenix Dawn Command. Never getting out of this particular one. We're stuck here now.
Phoenix Dawn Command show has been closed for retooling.
It's the holidays. We're going to take a little break
The
for several
animatronics
years.
are all broken down.
All right.
We're taking a break in the mouth.
All right.
I regret nothing.
You head further down the cave. These were populated caves for a long time. So there's artificial lights here, powered by some sort of device back in the city. So they're still sort of flickering, and it gives you a basic light. Although at this point, I'm assuming Varya can see in the dark. Like
Yeah.
as much as an actual wolf can.
Like fucking animal eye shine and everything.
And all of you are somewhat gifted in the dark, and your head's on fire, so that helps.
Yeah.
Just a little.
little
Yeah,
light in the
little
darkness.
touch. And you want to have when you have a fire, you want to have the fire behind you, so it doesn't shine into your eyes. Which is
Right.
great because if it is your head, it's behind your eyes. Yeah, it's real. That's the way to do it.
Convenient.
Yeah. So, Jesus. All right. So you head further into the cave. The cave systems are surprisingly rough for what is essentially an underground city complex. There isn't the Shadowbari
say it.
never
I'm not gonna
really.
say it.
Do you want to?
Inside the mouth is rough.
Okay. Thankfully, we've regained some control. All right, so the Shadowbari never really felt it necessary to sort of do like a finishing job on any of these tunnels, and basically just connect the various settlements and cities and hideaways. The Shadowbari also sort of basically never stopped running, even when people stopped chasing them. So their cities, with the exception of some of the larger ones, basically shut down after a generation and move somewhere else. The idea being that whatever is chasing them, they just need to keep being on the road. They're essentially a forced nomadic people, as opposed to drifting from place to place. They actually build homes for themselves. And
This is the Winchester Mystery House.
essentially, yes, is the Winchester Mystery Caves, so after about a half day's journey,
I didn't say anything.
you come to a sort of not populated, but like sort of built out crossroads where several caves go in various directions. And there are also some structures here, some built into the cave walls, or I guess essentially carved out when they carved the caves out. And some of them freestanding. It looks no different than like one of those places where two streets interact in like a farm community. There's like what was probably some sort of general store and everything else.
Just a cow.
Yeah.
Off by the side, just like taking some dirt.
What am I
Random guy.
doing here? But there are no people right now. The chant is definitely swept through here, and there are the sort of scrapings and signs and dried blood that suggest that there has been a chant mob in this area, but not for a while. It looks like whatever chanters were coming up to attack the walls must have given up or moved on. So there's just this area, and of course there's lots of ways to go from here.
Okay. I'd like to do a lore spread
Mm-hmm.
to kind of just or observation, I guess. Yes, observation is what I want to do.
Uh-huh.
To take in all of the environmental effects and see if I can figure out the direction that they've gone.
Okay.
So that's Master of Intrigue, so that's 5. I've got Heightened Awareness for 10, Smartest Person in the Room for 15, and then an Intellect of 4 for 19.
So also just follow the bloody footprints.
Well,
Or
this-
the smell.
you actually determined that there have been chant mobs through here in various directions for a while.
Okay.
Chant mobs last maybe a week or two. If they're not being, molested by outside forces, they can basically not burn the bodies out if they aren't terribly active.
Mm-hmm.
And there have definitely been tracks going back and forth here for maybe several days or even a week or two.
Okay.
So it's not really clear from that, but you do feel like you remember something from the book you've been studying about what little township the chant was initiated in, and it would be generally in a direction of one of the various caves. So you could head that way.
Okay.
I mean, you never can tell if it's going to go 100 feet and then turn left, but right now it looks like the way to go.
That way.
Duh. You smell it?
I thought you weren't talking to me anymore.
Only when I can be nasty about it.
It seems fair.
That
That's what I heard from the
Sure,
conversation.
sure, yes, but we should go that way, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Great.
It's another maybe 4 hours until you come to another small, settled area. This one has much more recent activity. It's very fresh smells of warm-blooded creatures and blood and everything else. And there's a sort of a complicated wall structure here that looks like a clock almost. And it looks like the sections of it are mobile, like you could sort of align them in various ways, and it's not really clear what they represent, but it's very big, and they're it almost looks like the trappings of like a meeting space, and you can't really tell what it was all about, but it's definitely something. I mean, there's not this. It looks very unique, or none of you remember any like Shadowvari people having a several story clock, so.
And can I, so if I have, I think it's the smartest person in the room card, can I pull that back out and add it to my hand? If
Is that how that works?
If I don't know if I can go
Competing
above
for smartest person
my
in the
hand
room.
limit.
Oh yeah,
He,
but no.
he definitely is.
Does smartest person in the room actually drag you?
You can
come
burn,
back.
you can
come
come
back.
You
Oh
can
yeah.
burn a spark, I
Yep.
think, to get it.
Okay.
Burn 2 sparks to get it back in your hand.
Then yes, you can.
I want to see them fight over who's actually the
Do
smartest.
that, 'cause I-
Well, actually,
Where did you go? Okay. I think I'd like to do a skill spread using my Empire
Okay.
knowledge because I'm very familiar with like something of this level of I guess complexity. This technology wouldn't have been found in the Shadowvar people, and I vaguely remember seeing something like this construct in my history. So we're gonna that.
My Death Stare is always going to win. When will you learn?
when I plug out my eyes.
All right. So it's not great. I do get to pull 2 cards. One back.
Watching the 30-second playback of that. You did really good on that one, Wolfman. You were like right on top of each one of their little exchanges. It was good. I would not have gotten it that well. Wolfman, that seat's yours if you want it. It's good.
I'll see you next week.
Great.
Yes,
All right.
please.
Ooh, look at that. Very
tasty.
pretty spread.
So it's going to be 8 and 13. And I was like, guys, wait. I think I've seen some of this before. And I bumped it up to an 18 by making everyone stop so I could have a second to look at this fucking thing.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, this is a Shadowvari. Well, what you determine, and then also you work with Ink and some of Ink's knowledge. This is sort of a Shadowvari. This is basically like a Shadowvari tracking app for where all their people are. At least it would have made a lot more sense if most of them were alive currently. But by moving the different arms and sort of changing this sort of like space, take your cards back, of the various sort of heads of the various circles and whatnot, they can actually sort of understand in which general area and how far away each sort of like Shadowvari tribe or group are, and they all understand it. Like it's basically deliberately encoded so that if you know other people took this area, they wouldn't be able to find out where it is. But any Shadowvari could come in here, and as long as this was being maintained, they could track any different one of their traveling groups by like, and it's very complex. It's like 16 or 17 levels, and they all have different things, and things are moving, and there's different like strange esoteric movements and all of that. So
It's damned peculiar.
Yeah.
now chat's entertaining, and we don't even have to do any work. All right, so
I can see everything, so it's just.
all right, so you can. If you want, you can try and make like a lore or observation check to see when it was last updated and where it might point you.
Yeah, I'll do observation because that's 10 right there, and I can do 3 cards in a spread. I can do 18 all told.
Okay. After a
Oh shit!
what? Oh, all right. Take a wound and who are you gonna whisper at?
It's all right. Because we're working together.
Yep. All right.
Wait.
Yeah, you don't get rid of it.
Oh. No,
Yeah, you could just give it to him.
Okay.
So essentially, he like, he's like, well, I think they went this way, then like, put them away or they're mine, put them away, and like, and so you,
Purple monkey dishwasher.
yeah, and then you're like, what? Oh, the
Monkey
chant.
dishwasher, I
Oh,
like
fuck.
that.
Yeah. Sorry. No. Sorry. I feel like we're very close to the source of this. I just hope we make it there.
You can put that right in your discard, by the way. So come back when you shuffle those in. All right.
An extra shitty surprise.
Yeah, that's how they work. All right, so it is after about a few hours. You think this is relatively current. You're
Are
not
you
sure.
as bored as I am?
Imagine Eerie's just going
And we're
like
just
rearranging
standing around.
furniture in houses, and then rearranging them again, and then like stacking something, and then climbing it.
Well, at least you're entertained.
Sorry, we like clocks, guys. It's not our fault. This thing's very fascinating. Lots of moving parts.
So many.
you-
All the moving parts.
You think it's current-ish. You don't know when this area fell.
Okay.
And you think it's depicting that most of the Shadowvari groups are, you would imagine, several, maybe 15 miles in a certain direction. And it looks like they're all coming together in one sort of area, which obviously they wouldn't be like maintaining these if they were all chant mobs. So maybe they've sort of taken shelter together in that space.
They've huddled together for warmth and safety, it appears. But
And it's a distance from here through the caves.
still got a ways to go. I have no idea what waits us along the way, but it feels like that is the course we have to take.
Can we go now?
Yes, Varya, we can go.
Good.
You actually can't because you're attacked.
No, Varya,
Um,
we can't.
Fuck you.
So you're just realizing as you sort of like moving the clock faces together that and understanding what this whole thing means, and like, oh wait, this disc is where we are. I get it now. Oh, and this is the mouth here, or wait, no, this, no, oh, fuck, and you're like, oh, now you basically have two potential targets. You can travel directly to where you think the source of the chant is. Or you can travel to the remaining Shadowvari people and try and like save them or bolster them. But before you can make that decision, you hear like, and then a chant mob comes running up the tunnel.
Have at.
Because I've been really bored, and I'm sure I heard them coming.
Yeah, you did.
Probably a while ago, too. You were just
Yeah,
waiting.
and just waiting and just letting you fuckers look at your stupid fucking clock.
They're gonna ruin this for him, but when?
Let it happen soon.
All right, so it's one. Okay, let's give you some environmental objects.
Yes, please.
There's a pyramid of spears. There's
like
a
that.
rack of tools. There's some cave-in debris. There are some iron beams that are sort of reinforcing the space. And then there's the chant. And because we are somewhat short on time, I'm not going to invite the chat room to
Would you cross
add
off
to.
the pyramid of spears, please?
Bet of chaos.
Because that sounds like fun.
Who put that together? That seems like a really inconvenient thing to have lying around.
It's really convenient right now. Let me show you.
All right.
Inconsiderate,
Sunny's
perhaps,
Ruthless.
but, you know,
And
they
I'm going to
used
go
it
ahead
store
and take a
grain.
wound from
Sorry.
Ruthless, which lets me flip my Talon as well. Oh my god, it's going to be like so much damage. Draw one card so I can draw another card. So it's another 5. So that gives me 10, 15, 19, 23, 27, and then 32.
32.
And it's brutal damage.
32 brutal damage. Okay.
Zootalors.
So 3, 6, 9.
They should have been a lot
12,
quieter on their way
15.
over here. They made a huge
Yeah.
mistake.
18,
We've made a huge mistake.
24, 8, 31. Ooh, that brutal damage actually really helped. All right, so these chanters come screaming and yell and singing the chant at you up the cave, only to be met by a very upset Varya who carves through them like there's no tomorrow. You notice that these chanters are fresh and armored. They're wearing they're all like converted soldiers, and they're from all different militaries. It's almost as if someone has like hand-picked a chant mob to be a potential threat to Phoenixes. Who wants it? One more of you get it.
Do your Vanguard thing?
Yeah.
Not metagame, just accent.
That counts. That's not being like
No, it
show us what to do
it
is a
makes
perfectly
sense.
valid.
It's like, yeah, you want to lead the charge so
Yeah.
we can actually do some damage?
Yeah.
actually do some damage.
I picture
Varya's
Varya making like a
incensed.
Scooby-Doo sandwich out of the
Yeah.
chanters.
Among the three of us, we have to also deal with a bunch of armored, not quite undead. Just oozy guys in armor.
Mostly
it's not
dead.
the best situation.
I'm going to warn you, chat, this is about the latest you can invoke any flares and have any actual effect, because then this combat will wrap us up a little bit for today. If you want to mess with them, do it now. Get your messing with done now.
Yeah.
Or at the beginning of next game, that happens too.
All right.
Do the thing.
Probably wanna hold on to that.
Do it, Tiny Potato.
Okay. I am going to. Man, I really want to keep that. This game, it's very good.
It's enjoyable.
We know.
Eh.
Card splitting? That's so terrible.
Yeah, I was real sad about that. Okay, I guess
Stop.
just. No, okay, this is
Making you
fine.
uncomfortable is my favorite.
So I'm
I
gonna
can
attack
hear the U in that, by the way.
the armored chant mob. So it's going to be 10 all told with the Vanguard buff, which will allow the next attack towards the mob to be brutal damage.
Okay. That is going to take off 2 wounds from them, which is very good as they blast them with fire, hammer fire. They're going to attack this. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's say they're going to attack both of you because you both
course
attacked
they
them. And so that is an attack of 9.
Okay. Well, this is fun. Ooh, that's extra fun.
All right. I can put down 3.
2 wounds.
Okay,
I'm
and
still
I
wrapped up in this
can-
whole clock business.
I can put down 5. And what are we dealing with, chant mob wise?
It's 9 is the total.
But I don't care about.
Oh.
How are they doing? How many are we?
Oh,
dealing
there's a
with?
lot of them. It's still just about a little under half of its, hit point total.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be real saucy. And I'm going to throw 10 damage on there as a response to their attack.
Ink kind of has a little Phoenix crush on Atmos.
10 damage. All right, gotcha there.
Yeah.
Okay. Are those also your sparks?
Because do I
No,
take
these
a
are mine.
wound?
Okay.
Did I take a wound?
You are going to definitely take a wound. How much was your defense? 5?
Yeah,
9.
5.
Still 2 wounds, yeah?
Can I also use the talent on that? Do I get to do
Oh, yeah,
that?
sure, yeah.
I get to burn a number of sparks equal to my rank. So another 5. I've been saving those.
Okay.
And I get to use them all to create a range attack that inflicts brutal fire damage.
Oh, nice.
So that's going to be 6.
Okay. 6 more damage.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to say that cracks their armor. It's going to be a lot of gooification of them.
That's for shit.
I will say yes. Those of you who care, which is probably just ink, see a textbook use of Phoenix powers in incredible strategy and effectiveness.
I'm too busy doing the math to come up with a fun story.
And there is sort of and you imagine if there had been an NPC here who would have turned and he says, "It is Atmos," and he truly is Atmos. And you're just blasting fire in all directions and sort of sucking up the damage. Do you take both wounds? Okay, good. 2 wounds.
And then I get 4 sparks back. And you guys each get a spark if you burned it.
Anyone
I
else?
think
I
I'll
didn't.
pull up.
You can have mine.
There for it. Doesn't work that way. All right, so who's next? It's Eerie is next.
Yep, I'm going to start darting through the crowd, doing some football tackles. I'm just going to start smacking people into the iron beams.
Okay.
Just ramming them into,
Okay.
And so I'll do 7 and a 6 and
That 6 doesn't work.
oh, how many do I need?
7 is the minimum.
Yeah, all right then.
Spark me on that one so that you can.
Reorganize. Hold on. Seven. And 7. I'm going to
Now
stun
it's-
him for a round.
Okay, now it's 8. You hit some heavier
Gotcha.
heavier troops.
This game's real good.
Yeah, it is. That is sort of the eternal DM's question for those of you at home. Is like, okay, now their health levels are 1 level higher, and I guess they'd kind of be displayed anyway because they'd be like physically on the card normally, but I just don't put them out. But it's like, let's imagine this is a D&D equivalent. You're like, oh, do I reveal that the AC has gone up, so or do I make my players have that inevitable round where they're like, haha, aw. Like, I don't know that necessarily does anyone any good.
It's not any fun.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling. It's more like and so it's better to be like, you see, like, armor. Oh, okay. You see, like, armor grow on the dragon, blah, 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 blah. All right.
I got one more 8 over there.
I love
Okay.
this just mess of cards. It's just amazing.
4.
Yeah. It's going to be the background now of our... the Shadow Wolf comes up.
Oh.
Thank you, Nightsteed. You're the
Thank
best.
you.
And also, horror movie teleport for you, Eerie.
Yeah.
But I would hold that till next session because it's
That
going
really
to be
cool,
as
like
useful.
shimmer. where it
Yeah.
seems like he's being, like,
He basically
cut a little
appears
bit.
in front of enemies when they're running away.
Oh, that's not
It might become
terrifying.
incredibly useful now, but yeah, just I'd keep an eye on that. Okay, so that was 2 more groups of 8 or more, or 3.
4 total?
4 total groups of 8 or more.
Yes.
Oh wow, you almost take them out. In fact, I'll let you finish them off. What do you have a?
Nah.
All right. So you
I'm
bet.
still caught up in clock.
Okay. So you just like, huh? Oh, and then like,
There's all this shit happening
Yeah,
behind you.
just mayhem. You're tearing people apart. I'm blowing them to pieces.
What did I miss?
It's
oh,
fine.
I got the clock, you guys.
It's fine.
So it's definitely clear though that this was like the closest equivalent of a like chant strike team. As much as the chant can like influence things, like specific people who happened to contract the chant while they were armored were like hand-picked and formed into a mob to send up against you. It didn't last long, but they definitely hold that Shadow Wolf too, because this combat's going to end essentially here. Nightsteed, that'll start the beginning of next combat. So what's actually going to happen is we'll say, you down those, you're figuring out the clock. Where do you guys think you want to go at the end of this session?
We need to go after the source of the chant.
As much as I'd like to save the Shadowvar, Varya is completely right. And if the chanters or the whisperers that she encountered have a point, perhaps there is some answer we'll find there that will inform any meeting we'll have with the Shadowvar. Regardless, we know where the source of the chant is now, and that's all we can do.
So, do you want to go now, or do you want to wait till next session?
Next session.
Next session.
Okay, just check.
No, in fact,
That
I
way.
think we need to keep track of all of
Yeah,
this stuff
'cause-
too.
yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and crack my Dawn Vial
Okay.
so that when I start again, I can
3 last?
flip my Talon again.
Okay. So you're heading off, but just as you're doing that, like there's another sort of like, you can hear more chanting coming up the corridor from both sides. And for the first time ever, you see like a mobile whisperer, and it's sort of leading the fray. And ahead of it is like a big telekinetic wave front of like discarded items and weapons, and the rack of tools gets caught up in it and like spilled into the telekinetic surf. And the surf sort of pours over you as like items are just flown over you in this big battle, and that's where we're going to end. So we're going to start picking up there. If you want to come back next week, you're welcome to it. Otherwise, another Phoenix will mysteriously be here.
Please come back next week.
I'm gonna be in Boston for Thanksgiving.
Unacceptable. Please come back next week.
A likely story.
I want to
Saturday
come
is
back
not
next week.
Thanksgiving.
You're knocked out by the attack then, but you don't like somehow it, even though phoenixes don't really have a KO'd option.
Yeah.
It's somehow like you get hit just right by like a flying hammer. And one of the young phoenixes who was following all of you, or one of the other phoenixes from town who is following on all of you, sees you fall and runs up to take play. And that will be announced when I book someone.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Matthew
Yeah,
Broderick.
hopefully it will be like Fade or one of those other ones that are one of our friend phoenixes, but it doesn't have to be. We're going to wrap it up pretty early today. The holidays are upon us, and I'm sure all of us have random shit that we need to get done. If you want to continue being part of this wonderful Phoenix Dawn Command family, don't be afraid to join our Patreon. Any Patreon backer of any level is going to be creating the Rival Wing for Season 2. That will be made with Keith Baker. In addition, of course, all of your donations go towards character art for the Season 1 characters, including Idalia, who's not here. We're looking forward to that. The next show is Monday. I think there's no Sunday show. Monday's show is Monday Night Dungeon Fight with hopefully Werewolfy, Mac, and
That would be such a
Capacity.
nice relief because the last two characters have been a thing. I mean, it was okay, but like the names, my God, the names.
You can. I think we have enough spare cards for you to wrap that deck up too, and we don't need to break it out for somebody.
All right.
So keep track. But
I'll be back. Just
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
Saturday.
Like the
Atmos will be back.
Terminator, he'll be back.
I'm just taking a long nap.
Ouch.
This wing is just tired him out. The poor deer is just tuckered out.
You guys are stressful.
Yeah.
That is fair. That is a fair assessment.
And then I think Tuesday is more. I'm just gonna go ahead and not talk the calendar out today because with the holidays, I don't know what shows are or aren't
Tuesday
going
is
on.
Hoy Chummer.
Is Hoy Chummer? It is.
Yeah.
It is up.
Yeah, because they asked me to do it and I can't.
Okay, so Hoy Chummers is definitely happening on Tuesday. That's our Shadowrun show. Wednesday is probably going to be. Oh, Wednesday is yet to be announced if it is a thing. Thursday, we're probably definitely not doing anything because it is actually Thanksgiving, and we normally just do a show where Tom Lommel talks to a camera. I'm sure his family would not want him to take time away for doing that. Friday,
I wanted to do it at the Thanksgiving table.
Friday will be our Star Wars show. Never Tell Me the Odds, unless they're off for the holidays. We don't think they are. And then next Saturday, a week from today, we have first off Masks, which is fantastic. And yeah, I don't fucking mind if people in this chat have my email. You can email me at saxcar, SAXCARR @gmail.com if you have questions about never tell me the odds. No, Monday Night Dungeon Fight character creation. It's my name, saxcar @gmail.com. Or you can actually chat me on Instagram. You can do. Surprisingly, talking to a lot of people on Instagram lately.
I am too, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's an
I keep
effective
forgetting
mode of
that's
yeah.
a thing, though.
And then Friday is Star Wars, and then Saturday is Masks, which Mike is on, and it's so good. My Masks may have an open seat next week too. If that's the case, maybe I can convince them to take Mac. And then
I want to come play.
and
Super easy to pick up.
yeah, and
I'm
playing
not. I
an
ain't
angsty
scared to
teenage
know
superhero.
games,
Come on,
So. Yeah.
yeah.
I want to go to there.
And then it's us continuing the battle for the end of the chant.
A battle for the mouth.
Yep. And is this your is that your last in a while, right? Or do you have a few
Oh no,
more?
I have a few more.
Okay.
It's just I have a lot of days off in December.
Okay, I understand. So you won't be able to continue our journey down the mouth?
Oh, I'll be here.
Okay.
I'll be here to go all the way into the mouth. As far into the mouth as is possible to go.
As deep as possible.
Yeah.
Dive
Might
in the
even
mouth.
get
Deep
into the throat.
Yeah.
Past the tonsils into the esophagus.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We're going on.
It's
Okay.
Yeah.
terrifying.
Watch out, stomach, here we go.
We can't
I'm gonna drive
climax
deep
of the
into the
story
mouth,
without it.
Sax. So deep.
Wolfman may be back with us too. We
God, I hope
drive deep
so.
into the mouth. Oh God, the terrifying need for quotes. All right, we love you all. Community is what matters in these trying times. I know all of you are probably, there's a lot of you who are scared or weirded out or really disenfranchised. Especially around the holiday season, there are some divided families. If you need a supportive environment, we are a community that wants you to be part of it. Please don't be afraid to whisper us or chat with us because we want to be there for you, but also find the communities that are in your life right now that aren't necessarily this and reach out to them because that is what's going to get us through all these troubled times is community. What would any of these phoenixes be without their wing, except maybe Varya?
Fuck these guys.
And yeah, I we love you guys, and thanks for your patronage. and your patronage, depending on how it works out. And
Thank you for your
yeah,
Patronus.
you can see
Yes,
all of our
that too.
Instagrams down there on the bottom.
Thank
and
you for your Patron.
does anyone have any other things to say before we get out of here?
Take care, be good, home safe.
Have a happy Turkey Day.
Be excellent to each other.
Party on.
Oh,
Oh, it took me long enough.
We
Yeah.
synchronized it. It was
yeah.
good.
Oh, Harry Potter fans, I think the votes are coming in for my Monday's episode for me on Geek and Sundry of Dick and Johnson is going to be Dick and Johnson, they like Harry Potter adventures or something. So
Lord.
if you ever wanted to see that,
I can only imagine.
with Iffy as our guest on that one. Anyway, so yeah, so see you next time. Go ahead and switch us from regular show to pre-show or post-show. And bye. Oh yeah, bye, Meat Spacers. Bye.